In Seoul's Gangnam district on the top floor of the LIF-FJ Corporation building, this young man is playing an online game in the D1 Gamer training room. The world's top-ranked game he's playing today is called Battle Rift, and he wants to take down his arch-nemesis. That character's name is Dex. Looking at Dex's appearance on the computer screen, he felt that this scoundrel was truly arrogant because this was a 1 versus 5 battle. One side played as a team of 5 with teammates, while Dex's side had only him alone in terms of numbers. Dex seemed to be at a disadvantage, but there was no long wait. As soon as the game started, the two sides immediately rushed into a melee. To have a proper fight, the first one to charge was this young man. With fierce momentum, he lunged at Dex as if wanting to eat him alive, but Dex remained calm, standing still and holding his sword tightly without flinching. Waiting for his prey to get close, Dex immediately unleashed a swift, clean sword strike, severing the boy's arm with just that one gentle blow. One teammate had officially fed the enemy. The remaining 4 members of the team couldn't believe what they saw, that he could take down an opponent so easily with just a single combo. It was truly insane, but the team didn't give up because of it. Another member of the team moved forward to provide support, slowly closing in on Dex, wanting to control him from behind. But the game wasn't that easy. Dex easily noticed and quickly blocked the attack, then continued to launch a successful counterattack. Double kill, knocking out the opponent. But as long as there's a will, there's a way. A teammate in the group encouraged them not to panic, saying that as long as they held their formation, they would definitely win. It's true that holding the formation would lead to a win, but it was Dex who won against the entire formation. The remaining 3 members of the team couldn't even last 2 minutes before being gently gifted a few sword strikes by Dex, shattered into 100 pieces. And so the game ended. The young man still couldn't believe that his 5-person team had been completely wiped out with no one left. It was officially game over. That one guy Dex all by himself easily handled a 1 versus 5 without any difficulty or obstacles. That NPC named Dex completely dominated the game world. That was our main character, Jiraiya. In reality, Dex was just one of the many nicknames Jiraiya used for gaming, but to him that wasn't important at all. Because Jiraiya's goal was to claim the #1 spot on the rankings. Once he achieved his goal, Ji-Chang quickly deleted the game regardless of how bitter and frustrated his opponents felt. One day had passed since Ji-Chang gave up his identity as Dex, and this caused everyone in the know within the gaming world to be surprised and start buzzing with chatter. And the reason Ji-Chang quit the game was quite predictable, as many gamers had been quitting their careers recently. It seemed like the era of gaming as it was had ended and was gradually being replaced by something newer and more appealing. Arcadia Online was a secret joint project of 3 of the world's leading corporations, including Agent Argos and Silicon. It's not played on a computer or laptop, but is accessed through a machine called the Dreamer, which creates a virtual world containing infinite new possibilities. Although it was just released, Arcadia has already attracted many customers to try it, and the Arcadia delivery truck is now parked in front of the address of a Dreamer buyer. Of course, the final customer was none other than Ji-Chang. However, looking at this shabby, dilapidated house made the delivery person wonder, you're in this situation, and you're still buying a gaming machine. But his circumstances, or anything of the sort, didn't matter at all to Jiraiya. Seeing the popular new Dreamer being delivered made him so excited his 2 eyes lit up brightly, and he didn't hesitate for long. Jiraiya immediately turned on the machine and deleted all information about the character Dex to make room for his new darling. The newly arrived Dreamer Junji Young, 20 years old today, is quitting all the old games. This is so he can move to a virtual world that isn't just a game. The world of Arcadia, a true dream world where countless games exist. And there are many elements hidden by the game programmers within those games. They can be simple jokes, but they can also be hoaxes that have a significant impact on the players, and we call them Easter eggs. More information. An Easter egg is a term used to describe an interesting detail subtly hidden by the creator in a game to enhance the fun for the player, continuing with the narration. Or they could be mysterious puzzle pieces in a mysterious place. A pair of hands with a large bracelet on the wrist spread open as a mysterious person with a cryptic smile spoke. I entrust this to you, Alice. Yes, Alice was the owner of those hands, and she accepted something from the other person. It was emitting streams of bright green light. She replied softly, yes, everything is for the sake of future generations, the end. The scene is an image of a book sinking deep into water. Virtual reality technology is built by directly connecting the human brain to a machine. And by digitally stimulating the senses, it creates a virtual world that can give us a realistic experience, and the successful creation of this virtual reality technology is no lie. The story leads to a place in the virtual world where the main character, Junji Young, has appeared. He stands in a fairly crowded place, where in the crowd a person shouts loudly, "Does anyone want to go hunting?" We're looking for more people for a party to do the daily challenge of collecting 100 sim cores. Another person shouts, "I'm selling stamina recovery potions here." Then comes a customer's voice, "Are you selling metal ore? I'll buy them all for 50 coins per ore." Ji Chang wondered, what's all this in an alley? Ji Chang opened his system menu. He was level 1 with basic items, and he thought the interface isn't as complicated as I expected, huh? His rookie quest was to kill 1 slime monster. I should finish the rookie quest first. He thought he saw a green slime, but in Arcadia it's very difficult to move precisely. Therefore, skills are created to assist in performing actions, for example, flash-stepping backward or swinging a sword, but for someone with exceptional talent like Ji Chang, it didn't take much effort or time. With 1 move, he was able to kill the slime easily and quickly. The system announced that the rookie quest was completed. Ji Chang smiled in satisfaction. I'm already getting the hang of this. Time for the next quest. A new quest was generated. Ji Chang was extremely confident in himself. No matter what it is, I'll take care of it in the blink of an eye. His next quest was to read 100 books. This stunned him and made him sweat bullets as he thought to himself, what a trash game. The scene changes to a different location. A different place with lots of books. It's the public library, and there are 2 girls sitting there. The pink-haired girl said excitedly, "Hey, look over there. Isn't he unusual?" The purple-haired girl asked, "What's the matter?" The other girl said, "That guy. He's been reading books for a whole day now." "That's our Ji Chang. He's doing the quest to read 100 books. The number of books he has read has formed a very tall stack." The purple-haired girl laughed. "What's so special about reading in a library?" The younger girl said, "Hey, you know it too, sis. These days, even if it's for a quest, people just skim through about 10 books and then leave immediately. Have you ever seen anyone read as intently as that person?" Meanwhile, Ji Chang was reading while silently cursing this damn game. "I'll definitely wipe it off the map," the older sister said. "Tisk. Perhaps he'll also leave soon, just like the others." Ji Chang spoke up. "Excuse me, you two. Do you have volume 2 of this book?" As he asked, he pointed to a book. The older sister was stunned. "Wait, what volume 2? Why are you suddenly asking for its second volume?" She thought, did he read that book too? He's not just asking for fun, right? Ji Chang said, it's because there were some rather interesting things in Volume 1, so I thought there might be more information in Volume 2. The older sister wondered some interesting things. Ji Chang said this book. History of Arcadia, Volume 1, the oldest trace, Edelin, he said to the girl's bewilderment, so she brought another book over here. "Here is your Volume 2, please read it to your heart's content. Just make sure to return it." He replied, "Okay, thank you." Upon receiving the book, he immediately voiced the question on his mind. I'm a little curious, why do you keep Volume 2 in a separate place like that?" The girl replied, "That's because this is a special book that you can only read by asking me for it directly." Ji Chang reached out and touched the book. A very strange sensation appeared in a mysterious dimension. Alice was there. Rookie Village, Edelin. An unexpected event has been detected. The conditions for a hidden quest to appear have been fulfilled. Designating the player as a special subject requiring analysis, Ji Chang took the book and smiled. A long time ago, there was a legendary explorer. He hid a treasure at the bottom of the lake in the rookie village of Edelin. Its existence has only been passed down through rumors, and no one has yet been able to find the location of that treasure. One thing is certain. It is the most ancient trace of darkness. People rumor that the legendary explorer of the past, Ezra, hid it near the lake beside Edelin. But of course, not a single person has been able to find the trace of darkness there. So this legend was gradually forgotten, and if it's the lake near Edelin, then it can only be Lake Erun in front of the village, right? The main character thought as he examined the map and looked at Lake Erun. Ji Chang had arrived at the shore of the lake, surrounded by natural scenery under the setting sun. North of Edelin at Lake Erun, he thought to himself, I only came here because it seemed interesting. There is no way there is a trace of that treasure in a peaceful lake like this, he thought as the system chimed in. The final condition to generate a new quest has been met. A quest has been generated based on related clues. Quest difficulty AB, influence a quest rank B+. The main scenario has been initiated. Player dex has been analyzed as level 1. A new quest has been generated, a B+ rank quest, trace the trail of darkness which you have discovered. A record indicates the most ancient trace of darkness is at Lake Erun. Investigate whether this record is accurate or not, and track down that trace. Unbelievable. He thought a new game like this already has a B+ rank quest. I thought the highest rank would only be C. This game is finally getting interesting, huh? The sunlight still shone on the beautiful natural scenery of the lake. Its surface was calm, but beneath the water was a terrifying creature. This creature opened its eyes, revealing a blazing red light. It was now late afternoon bordering on dusk. The setting sun cast a golden glow across a corner of the sky as Dex was strolling leisurely. Walking under the forest canopy, he glanced around, looking everywhere, and then sighed. There is nothing special around here, which makes this whole thing even more suspicious. Suddenly, Dex's eyes widened, as if he had discovered something special under the lake. He stared intently at the calm and tranquil surface of the water, which was covered in a shimmering layer of color. A sparkling gold from the afternoon sun shining on it. Then, with a look of determination, he rolled up his sleeves. All right, then. After saying that, Dex immediately took a running start and dived straight into the lake, creating a large wave that splashed water everywhere as soon as his entire body was submerged deep underwater. Dex quickly and sharply noticed what this is. A small lake being this deep is a bit much. Meanwhile, at Arcadia's Korean branch, a group of people were extremely tense in front of a large screen displaying a blazing red warning sign: "Main scenario has opened." The person in charge was the acting CEO and also the general manager of Arcadia's Korean branch, who was currently tearing his hair out. "I am about to go crazy." He frowned in annoyance and said, "What the hell did you do on a continent that has been open for less than a week, and the main quest is even?" An employee standing nearby interrupted to offer an opinion. "Sir, according to the analysis team, it seems a player has caused a conflict with some kind of element related to the game's main scenario." Hearing this, Kwon Myung-han turned and asked again, "Some kind of element? What kind of chaos did he cause for the entire game to be shaken just by the actions of a single player?" The employee stammered in reply, We are not too sure about that either." And Kwon Myung-han sighed wearily, "Damn it," and then ordered, "First report this matter to the chairman and ensure that every department is thoroughly prepared to be able to react immediately to emergency situations." "Understand." The group hurriedly replied, "Yes, sir," and then dejectedly left. The entire room was left with only Kwon Myung-han, who was still lost in thought over the difficult problem before him. The main scenario was generated just 4 days after the opening. The U.S. server is also very peaceful, even though it has been open for over 3 months. Is this the result of a Korean server? Meanwhile, on Dex's side, he had just surfaced from the water, gasping for air after his recent exploration. One by one, system panel squares appeared before his eyes. Diving skill has increased to rank B. You can now dive deeper for a longer period of time. Your accumulated points have increased by 1. Soaked to the bone and exhausted, he sat by the lake's edge, recalling the recent memory, and could not help but frown. Damn it, it felt like I dove 200 meters deep, but I could not even see the bottom of the lake. His gaze drifted to the distant shore on the other side, where the forests were shrouded in darkness. His will began to waver. Should I just give up now? He started to wonder again. Right now, when the game has just begun, other players are trying their best to secure a top position. Wasting time leveling up my diving skill at a critical time like this. Suddenly, he clenched his fist, and more importantly, the $920 monthly payment for the gaming pod. A tense internal struggle began in Dex's mind. I was thinking of paying with items dropped in the game, but at this rate, I will not be able to make nearly $1,000 a month. However, that hidden, undiscovered thing is also something special. It made him feel very attached. A hidden quest. Something completely for me, a quest totally separate from other players. After hesitating for a moment, he stood up straight, looked at his reflection in the water, and continued, "If the reward is nothing, it will be heartbreaking." But suddenly Dex made up his mind. He flashed a confident, triumphant smile. As a player, I cannot just let this opportunity slip away. All right, I will do everything I can. Meanwhile, at the Silicon headquarters in Silicon Valley, USA, in the chairman's office, a petite girl with blonde hair, styled into cute two-sided pigtails, was sleeping on a bed with the appearance of a child. Completely contrary to her identity, she was Jenny Capital, the head of the Silicon Corporation. Suddenly, something startling caused the little girl to open her eyes wide. Waking up from a daze in a room filled with adorable things, a scream suddenly echoed. "Jack, what do you mean? The main scenario has been generated in Korea." A man named Jack appeared on a large pale blue screen, his hair covering half of his face, creating a mysterious look. He replied softly, "A Korean player has discovered a clue leading to a hidden class concealed in the beginner village. According to Alice's analysis, there is a high probability that this will lead to the main scenario." "This is unfavorable news for the corporation." Jessica Powell, sitting in front of the screen, scowled and lightly ruffled her hair. Did we really leave something that would cause such an impact? Such a huge impact in the beginner village? Jack gave a faint smile and replied, "It was not us, that bastard left it there." As he spoke, a blurry figure whose identity was unclear appeared in Jessica Powell's mind. She laughed angrily and hissed, "That damn bastard," saying that she ran over and hastily threw the objects on her desk aside to find her tablet. She hurriedly searched, scrolling back and forth for a while before exclaiming. Found it, however, the information before her made her feel baffled as she read hidden class anarchist poet no method for level calculation. No attack skills, what the hell is this? How are you supposed to play a game with this? She said, discontentedly faced with her fiery attitude. Jack remained calm and spoke, but in return they receive a special ability. Jenna Cole Powell's eyes lit up. A special ability. Wait a second. After saying that, she bowed her head and continued searching for something. However, it is unknown what she saw in the next second, nor what it was that could make her eyes widen, tremble, break into a cold sweat, and let out a loud scream that echoed throughout the building. This is insane. Returning to the virtual world of the game, it was now 10 days later. The familiar scene of the lakeshore and the distant forests appeared as Dex emerged from the water holding a strange object. After a period of diligently sticking to this place, he had finally obtained the result he desired. He stood half submerged in the water, raising the strange item high to examine it, then smiled with satisfaction. Awesome, I found it. Beside him, the system panel was announcing in sequence diving skill has increased to rank A. Your accumulated points have increased by 1. Your water affinity has increased to 10. You can now dive to very deep places. He was still engrossed in admiring the item he had just painstakingly found when a sudden sound drew his attention, causing him to turn. Written on it were long lines of text announcing the quest. You have completed the quest. Find the traces of darkness. You have found the notes proving the ancient clues. The most ancient traces of darkness in Lake Erin, confirming that these records are true, and finding evidence to support it. Objective complete 1 out of 1. You have received the reward Dark Necklace. Dark Necklace is the name of the beautiful item he had just found inside it. Contains traces of the void from ancient times if you use this item. You will need to consider it very carefully. He lifted the item to observe it once more, then wondered to himself, so you guys are saying this necklace is a clue. You are telling me whether I should use it or not. This explanation is almost a threat, even though I say that. But when the question appeared on the system panel, do you want to use the Dark Necklace? Dex still did not hesitate to reach out and select the yes box. It seemed the decision was made and the die was cast. But unexpectedly, the system asked back, are you sure? Although Dex found it a bit strange, he still reached out and chose yes again. The system still did not seem to accept this result. It asked again, are you really sure? Dex didn't even bother to think and remained firm in his initial choice. The system still didn't give up. It just kept repeating the reminders. Are you really? I'm asking you one last time in all seriousness. Even if you're absolutely sure, you won't be able to take it back each time. Dex quickly pressed the yes button without even a glance. After a bit of back and forth torment, he angrily clenched his fists and yelled, I already said it. I'm going to use it, so why do you keep asking me if I'm sure? The system seemed to have compromised. It said helplessly, you're spamming yes like crazy, aren't you? I know all about it. And then the system panel suddenly changed, startling Dex somewhere out of sight. A young man with thick hair covering his face was smiling mysteriously behind the panel. The system began to speak to Dex. If you've come this far, it seems you're extremely eager to use this item. I won't ask again. Don't have any regrets. After all, I've warned you more than enough. The mysterious young man looked seriously at the screen and continued from now on. Try to use all your abilities to cause chaos, just like I'm doing right now. The strange voice made Dex feel confused. Who's that? The system didn't answer his question and instead started updating with new notification bars one by one. Your hidden class has been changed to Anarchist Poet. The leveling system will be removed. Reasonable stats will be granted. A quest system has been added. The character will always belong to the player. A new quest has been updated. Dex was stunned, his eyes wide as he stared at the main screen in front of him. A hellish quest had been given to him. It was to kill newbies, eliminate new players who haven't changed their class yet. Number of newbies killed is 0. The remaining time was counting down. 6 days, 23 hours, 55 minutes, and 24 seconds left at the West Adeline Meadow. This is a newbie hunting ground. The slime territory. A group of newbies were fighting a swarm of slime monsters. Among them was Dex. He was swinging his fist and shouting, take this. Knocking a slime monster into the air. In another corner, there were 2 newbies. In the male player's hand was a blue gem. He said cheerfully, a drop, I got a slime bead. The female gamer next to him widened her eyes, her face full of admiration. Oh, that sells for 50 bronze. I'm so jealous. In response, the male gamer grinned from ear to ear for getting such a good find. I'm so lucky. Now this is what a game should be like. Then the male player struck a pose, holding the gem up high, and said triumphantly, all right, I'm going to hunt slimes all weekend to make money. Seeing his smug look, the female player helplessly reminded him, hey, what about the test next week? The two of them were chatting lively, unaware that they were being watched by another player not far behind them. Dex hid behind a tree, thinking to himself, I have to kill. Those kids, huh? With an uncertain expression, Dex thought back to an hour ago he was sitting in front of his computer, the screen displaying the words, cannot delete character. Dex's face fell, not knowing what to do. It was like stepping on a landmine. Before that, Dex had changed to a hidden class, and when faced with a series of notification windows, he immediately tried to delete his character for a very simple reason. When looking at the control panel, the player information section showed nickname Dex, no level. Class anarchist poet Dex stroked his chin in deep thought, just as I thought it's not here. The leveling system was gone. This is the most basic system in the game, but Dex no longer had it. This meant his growth potential had vanished. This would create a huge difference if other players continued to level up. The gap would just keep widening. Dex didn't want this to happen at all. But he remembered what that person said, just keep trying your best like I'm doing. Dex felt dejected and broken, thinking I should have stopped when I heard that. I was blinded by my desire to win. Letting himself lie on the grass and look up at the blue sky, Dex thought to himself, well, if things stay like this, nothing will be solved. Sunbeams shone through Dex's fingers. A thought suddenly flashed in his mind. Anarchist poet, no matter how bad it is, it's still a hidden class. There must be some benefit, right? After that, Dex searched through the stats window for a long time looking for useful information. And finally, he found something. Anarchist poet under the abilities section. There was something special. It was recognition 0. Seeing this, Dex pondered, what is recognition? The system screen displayed an explanation. Recognition increases the ability to interfere with this world by using this stat. You can change the world's rules yourself. After use, the stat will be consumed. Dex's face was full of surprise. What is this? His mind was full of question marks. Suddenly, the screen changed. Before Dex's eyes, the words, a new quest has been updated, appeared. Reading the quest, his expression couldn't be more priceless. Kill newbies. Kill new players who haven't changed their class yet. Players killed. 0 time remaining 6 days, 23 hours, 55 minutes, and 24 seconds returning to the present. Dex stood behind a tree, still unable to believe it. So I have to kill those pesky newbies. Doesn't this quest affect the game's management? Dex bowed his head and thought, what should I do? Having thought it over, Dex made a decisive choice. Well, let's give it a try. Holding a blade in his right hand, he channeled his power, causing a blue flame to engulf the blade, and his hand he poised his feet to build momentum. About to dash towards the two gamers, he thought to himself, I'm just playing a game too. But something unexpected happened. A guy with yellow hair attacked them first. That guy smirked, we almost sent him flying. The blue-haired female gamer quickly helped her friend up and shouted angrily, who are you guys? The two guys laughed loudly. One was the yellow-haired one, while the other bowed his head and covered his face in shame. Here we go again. The yellow-haired guy smiled brightly and introduced himself. Us, we're the owners of this hunting ground. Who the hell are you to dare hunt monsters here? On the other side, Dex was also puzzled and full of questions, thinking, who are these guys? The beta hasn't been open for long, and they're already fighting over territory. The blue-haired female gamer with tears in her eyes angrily retorted, this is a newbie hunting ground. It's a public area for everyone. Who do we need to ask for permission? Hearing that, the yellow-haired guy narrowed his eyes and approached the female gamer. He confronted her and said annoyedly, you little brat, you're too loud. I can tell from your accent you guys are from Seoul, aren't you? And you were talking about a test, so you must be high school students. As he spoke to them, a blood-red text gradually appeared above his head level, 12 Crazy Monkey. That made the male gamer startle in panic. A red ID, that's a sign they've killed other players before. This is a PK player, and the blue-haired female gamer seemed terrified. By the words of the yellow-haired guy Crazy Monkey, if I look up your nickname a bit, I could probably find where you live too, huh? Miss June was so scared she was on the verge of tears, unable to speak. One of them continued in a scornful tone, you get what I mean, right? Then the three of them looked at the female gamer with killing intent. Get lost if you don't want to be killed. The frightened female gamer turned to the people around for help. Her eyes filled with helplessness. Help us. Why is everyone just standing and watching the male gamer with her sat up, covered in injuries? He tried to negotiate, why are you guys doing this? It's just a game, can't we just have fun? The response was an indescribable expression on the faces of the three guys. Then the three of them burst out laughing as if it was a hilarious joke. The arrogant and contemptuous Crazy Monkey said, just like you said, this is a virtual reality game. That's exactly why we're like this. Crazy Monkey thoughtfully explained, there are no rules in a game. Strength is the only measure, isn't it? This is a game, then? A voice rang out, I agree. Following that, a blade swung out, and one of the guy's legs flew into the air. A piercing scream of pain echoed. The two surprised guys turned around. Dex smiled broadly and said regretfully, I almost killed you. Having said that before the three guys could react, Dex struck with his blade, quickly ending their lives. At the same time, his nickname changed from green to red. The system's sound chimed 3 consecutive times. Recognition has increased by 1, all right. Dex looked at the notification and thought, so killing one person increases it by 1. I don't know what it's for, but it seems pretty hard to raise. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Thank you. It turned out to be the 2 gamers who ran over and knelt down, thanking him, thinking Dex had saved them. They said in unison, "Thank you for saving us. How can we repay you?" And Dex replied coldly, "No need to thank me, because I was planning to kill you 2 for my quest anyway," in front of the 2's shocked faces. Dex slung the blade over his shoulder and smiled gently, but his words sent shivers down their spines. Don't put up a fight now. It's just a game, isn't it? The male gamer only had time to think, I can feel it. That look was real, he's insane, and then he was sliced in half at the same time. The system announced twice in a row. Recognition has increased by 1, meaning that 2 gamers had disappeared from the game. Under everyone's gazes, Dex silently said next. Then he turned his head and grinned with the large blade on his shoulder. To the horror of the crowd, Dex said, "It's your turn now, you onlookers." Any last words? After that, the forest echoed with piercing screams, the sound of fleeing footsteps, and everyone's pleas for mercy after that day. A rumor spread on the Arcadia homepage. Everyone said only one thing: a true madman has appeared in the night sky over a forest. The full moon cast a sparkling light, illuminating everything. In the forest, on a dry tree branch, sat an owl with glowing eyes. Its eyes emitted a yellow light as the owl stared intently at something. Reflected in the owl's eye was a figure running for his life into the forest. A young man with blue hair ran while screaming loudly, "Ah!" The young man ran for his life, his face covered in sweat. While running, he screamed, "Is anyone there? Save me!" Suddenly, he tripped over a rock, and a loud thud and a big "ah" echoed in the night. Suddenly, the system displayed an injured status. Your movement speed is slowing down. He lay crawling on the ground, trying to crawl away the system. "Oh, damn it!" He urgently turned his head back and frowned. In the dark forest, a pair of red eyes seemed to be watching him. Making him tense from the shadows, a young man in a green cloak emerged, causing the blue-haired man to panic. His pupils contracted. Dex smiled brightly. His eyes crinkled with excitement. The blue-haired man tried to back away, and as he did, he screamed in a panic, "You bastard," instead of killing normal players. "Why don't you go hunt monsters? Why do you want to kill me now?" Dex held his knife and swung it down with all his might. The blue-haired man tensed up, shutting his eyes tightly and screaming. "Do you think the management company will let you get away with playing dirty right after the game's launch? I'll definitely report you, you son of a bee," hearing this. Dex paused. He looked at him puzzled. What are you babbling about?" He frowned and said, "Think again. Who was it that forced me to do this, huh?" The blue-haired man asked back in confusion, "Huh?" Before he could compose himself, Dex swung his blade and the blue-haired man was split in 2. Suddenly, the system chimed in. "You have killed a newbie. You received 1 acknowledgement." Dex stared straight ahead. In his hand was a red knife. Then he let out a big yawn. I'm so sleepy. In the Arcadia online system, there's something called a death penalty. The death penalty is a 24-hour login ban at a certain company. Everyone was busy working. This is a mechanism the developers implemented to prevent game addiction while also increasing the sense of attachment. Suddenly, a shout was heard. Quickly lift my login ban. I'm the victim of that dirty player. Why was I the one who got banned? Arcadia Online Customer Service Department. The company director frowned and asked what's going on. The employee behind him was sweating as he explained, inquiries related to the PK issue have suddenly skyrocketed. The director frowned. "PK, we're already busy enough. What kind of lunatic has so much free time?" The customer service department resigned itself to working overtime. A system displayed Dex's information panel. Dex no rank anarchist poet equipment stat skills. Acknowledgement 1025 strength, 10 vitality, 4 mana, 10 intelligence, 4 agility, 5 evasion, 3 accuracy, 4 luck, 2 resistance, 0. Dex looked at the system panel and said grimly, the 1025th life, huh? After staying up for 2 straight days, I finally have some results. He yawned and thought, wow, this is harder than I thought, or perhaps I should say. Every time I get criticized for killing, it's mentally draining. Moreover, is it really okay to go on like this mass-killing newbies when the game has just launched? He wondered, this is clearly an intentional disruption of the game's operations, so why did I get this quest newbie massacre 1 kill newbies who have not yet class changed? Newbies killed 1,025 time remaining 6 days, 23 hours, 55 minutes, and 24 seconds. He sighed, it's not my problem anyway. Suddenly, a cue sound from behind caught his attention, making him turn his head, From within the forest, a horde of slimes emerged. Surprising him, the system announced, "You have saved a slime from danger. Affinity with the slime race has increased QQ." He panicked, backed away, sweating, and yelled, "Ugh." The slimes piled on top of him and swarmed him. Only his waving hand could be seen. He hugged a cute little slime and said cheerfully, "Ha ha, I guess I can't get along with humans anymore. But it turns out I still have you guys." Suddenly a noise made him and the slimes curious from the forest. 4 flames slowly approached them. He looked up at them with grim eyes. He gently patted the slime's head and said, "I'm sorry. I'd love to play with you all, but if I don't run now, there's going to be a bit of trouble." The blue-haired man and several others holding torches ran toward his location with annoyed expressions. The blue-haired man looked around but couldn't see Dex. He frowned and broke into a sweat. Suddenly, he pointed in the direction Dex was fleeing and shouted, "There he is! Get him quick!" Dex ran like the wind through the forest, and after a while, he discovered a cliff up ahead. He was getting closer and closer to that cliff. Dex stopped with the cliff behind him. The others stood before him. The blue-haired man said with an arrogant expression, "Ha ha, after all that running, you ended up at a cliff. How pathetic. You look just like a cornered sewer rat. Just give up and die hearing this." Dex's expression was grim, but then he let out a faint smile and threw himself off the cliff. The others looked on in astonishment. The blue-haired man stared in shock and stammered, "That crazy lunatic. He actually jumped. Is he an idiot or something?" Dex smiled sinisterly and logged out on YouTube. Some images of him were shown with the headline, "Breaking News, Dirty P. Kerr, the massacring behavior of the newbie serial killer." Right below that video were controversial comments about the incident. "Somehow going down the path of a newbie slayer, huh? That's interesting." "Interesting, huh? You try getting killed and see if it's still interesting then." Judging by his items, it looks like he just class changed into a top-tier warrior controller. LOL, but what's wrong with that guy? Does he have some kind of mental problem? This is no time to laugh, the blue-haired man after failing to catch him. Dex was furious. He looked at the screen. "I am a newbie who was killed by him 2 days ago. Since then, I've been watching the notice board, and sure enough, there are over 700 reported cases displayed. Here on the screen are some controversial comments about Dex 700 kills. It sounds like a joke. Just gather about 10 people, and you can kill him as easily as taking candy from a baby." The blue-haired man gritted his teeth and said, "That's right. I'm also planning to form a party to hunt him down. Anyone who wants to join, please contact me. The time and place will be at the Fountain Square in-game." The blue-haired man gathered a group of people who had been killed by Dex. "Everyone, thank you for joining me today," he said seriously. "Now, let's begin the meeting to eliminate this villain. If one had to choose one of Arcadia's most appealing features, it would be the events initiated by the players themselves, not just in-game, but also the players' reactions on the internet. Can also form a storyline that is actually realized in the game, thanks to an AI that manages all conditions. That AI takes the form of a young girl with white hair. Along with a white dress and her accentuating blue eyes, her name is Alice. She has detected the formation of a large-scale party, analyzing related causes and related quests. Main event, Act 1, The Birth of Darkness. She reached out and pointed at the control panel. Suddenly, a system notification rang out. Initializing new quest. A quest board appeared in front of the blue-haired man. Catching his attention, the quest board was displayed for everyone present. Quest, capture the newbie serial slayer. Capture the anonymous murderer who is killing newbies in the slime territory. Quest, capture the newbie serial slayer. Capture the mysterious murderer roaming the slime colony. Kill newbies at the Korean barracks. The scenario team, quest planning and management. The main game screen glitched, causing the people there to panic. The director shouted a quest was issued without any notification at all. On top of that, it was sent to all players. The employee beside him said in a panic, We are still analyzing the cause." The boss turned back and yelled, "Are you really planning to take this matter so lightly? We haven't even had the servers open for very long, and things are already a complete mess in there. Look at this." Scenario team leader director Kang Tae-hun. The people there looked at him resentfully, and in silence they were extremely anxious, sweating profusely. This was clearly an emergency situation. Even if a quest were suddenly sent to all players, if it were a normal quest, I'm certain the entire room wouldn't have descended into chaos. This is a quest related to the main scenario in Act 1, hearing the scriptwriter say this. The director tensed up and stepped back. All of our scenario team's predictions were wrong. Within 2 days of the main quest's issuance, the mission has already started. Issued and started, between these two concepts, there is an undeniable difference. Just as a seed doesn't sprout and bear fruit immediately after being planted, by the time the quest was issued to all players in the form of a notable mission. Through a ripple effect, many months would normally have passed. That's what the scenario team predicted. They all stared in panic at that red screen. Director Kang Tae-hun stared tensely at the screen. He thought a 2-day gap was too large to be considered a simple, inaccurate prediction. There must be a reason. On the screen was information about the game. What he found was information about the newbie killer. He looked at the screen angrily. "What the hell is this?" The employee next to him nervously replied, "Well, one of the players is going around killing other players in the newbie hunting grounds in the slime colony. We predict that this player is directly related to the main scenario." This one, so what about the killer's information? Where does he live and what does he do? I tried to verify that, but we can't check it at the moment. Because there's a viewing restriction set by the main headquarters, the director looked at the screen with his chin in his hand and thought the main headquarters going to such lengths for just a regular player. So who is that person? Suddenly, a piece of information shocked him on the screen. It displayed the number of players killed, 1,025 people, scene change to the front of Dex's house. Right now, Dex was sleeping soundly. Sunlight streamed through the crack in the door, brushing against his face. Suddenly, he slowly opened his eyes. Drool was still running down his face. On the screen, a new event was displayed. Special event, Catch the Murderer. A righteous quest to capture the murderer with Arcadia Online, as Justice Blossom's rewards will rain down. Take down the evil PK who has dominated the newbie hunting grounds. He looked at the screen tensely, thinking, what is this? He frowned and forced a strained smile. This is definitely about me, isn't it? In that post. The engagement was very high, which surprised him, and he shouted, "Hey," over 2,000 comments. He frowned and gritted his teeth as he looked at the comments, saying, this is getting complicated. It's a bit embarrassing, but should I just slowly stop everything here? But considering that, there's still so much to gain. He looked at the virtual world login device. His mind was a mess. He looked at the world in the game where the slimes were playing happily. He pondered and said, what should I do now? I didn't expect them to create a quest to catch me the slime colony where the slimes smiled happily and played together. He slowly stood up and said, it's the best place to hunt newbies. Should I find another place? Suddenly a cue sound came from behind him, catching his attention. He turned around to look. Oh, a slime with a sad expression called out. He looked at the slime in surprise. A slime. Oh, it's so hard to hunt. Hearing the sound, he looked up to see two people walking and smiling. The orange-haired guy said, Keke, I told you to pick a class other than a mage. The brown-haired guy next to him angrily held a wooden stick and replied, damn it. I didn't know hunting just one slime would be this hard. The orange-haired guy gritted his teeth. He saw the slime standing at Dex's feet. He shouted, I found the slime we were hunting. The two of them, one holding a sword and the other a club, ran over there. Hey, you were hunting that. Don't you touch it. Don't try to steal our kill, okay? That's not cool. Don't you touch that slime. Its HP is really low. It might die instantly. Hearing them say that, Dex looked down at the little slime that was looking at him sadly. He lowered his head, then he opened his eyes and looked straight at the two of them. He pulled the hood of his cloak over his head and slowly walked towards them. The orange-haired guy frowned and asked, what's wrong with that bastard? The brown-haired guy next to him suddenly realized, wait, that appearance. I think I've seen him somewhere before. He stared intently at the two of them. The orange-haired guy frowned. Hey. He slowly ran a few steps. The orange-haired guy reached his hand out towards Dex. The red-haired guy frowned and shouted, are you deaf? He looked up silently. Suddenly, he let out a small laugh, then suddenly collapsed and screamed, it's the PK. The orange-haired guy frowned. His eyes widened in shock and said what? He rolled on the ground, playing the victim. I'm going to die. The PK is here. The orange-haired guy, standing next to him, stammered, hey, what are you saying? I'm just going to push you. He still tried to scream, PK, the PK is here. The people nearby who were looking for the PK, hearing that their eyes lit up PK, they looked towards the two of them. The reward made the orange-haired and brown-haired guys shout in shock, trying to explain, no, that bastard was in my way, so I just pushed him. The orange-haired guy turned back and shouted, isn't that right? Look, that suspicious-looking guy over there is the one. When the orange-haired guy turned back, Dex and the slime had already run away. He shouted, he ran away! The people there frantically ran towards the orange-haired guy. Shut up and hand over the event reward. You murderer, how dare you target young newbies? You psycho reward? The crowd glared at the two of them. The brown-haired guy was sweating nervously and thought, now I remember. I was wondering where I'd seen that gloomy appearance before. That person is the PK that everyone's been talking about. The sky and ground began to emit a red light, the piercing screams of the two of them. Wait, we've been framed. Shut up, you murderer. Scene changed to another forest. Dex and the slime were sitting on a log. Dex was sweating and panting heavily. Phew, I escaped just in the nick of time. He picked up the little slime and smiled. You followed me here. The slime happily smiled, QQQ. He held the little slime and asked, haha, you adorable little thing, are your wounds okay? The system began to display a notification. You have saved a slime in danger. Your affinity with the slime species has reached its maximum value. You have received the title Friend of Slimes. He hugged the little slime in his arms and looked up at the system notification saying, oh, he looked up and said, well, I guess the number of slimes I've saved is about the same as the number of newbies I've killed, so it makes sense to get that title. He hugged the little slime and thought, however, nothing changes the fact that I've received level 1 affinity with slimes to continue playing the game. I need something to help me get through this situation. The system chimed in, you have met the minimum requirement for recognition points. You have formed a symbiotic relationship with the slime race. You have been permitted to use recognition points to help them. He looked at the system panel and wondered, help. Level 1 slime, HP 50, mana 0. Attack power 10, physical defense 1, recognition points 1025, recognition points 1025. He looked up at the slime in shock. Suddenly he smiled, ha 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 ha. This game is going to be so fun and incredibly insane. So this is what recognition points are for, huh? He transferred a wave of orange and red energy into the slime, causing the slime to gradually turn orange. 1025 recognition points will be used permanently. Are you sure you want to apply these changes? He smiled and focused on the notification, yes, after that on him, and the slime, a great godlike figure, appeared, transferring power to them. That beam of light illuminated the entire forest. The base stats of the slime race have been changed. Monsters are targets for players to defeat. From succubi to stone demons, their existence is crucial in RPG's meaning. Role-playing games where you fight monsters to level up among them are those for newbies. In hunts for newcomers, they provide basic practice, the monsters known as introductory monsters for newbies in the world of Arcadia Online. These monsters are called slimes and have the appearance of a walking blob of jelly. However, what would happen if this monster species became too strong for newbies? The result can be found on the official YouTube page of Arcadia. Videos with content like I tried to become as strong as possible with a level 1 wooden club, or tower climbing videos, or videos asking guess if I'm a newbie. Or a video titled The Slimes Are Too Strong. This video even got a huge number of views. The video's content is as follows. The realistic game scenery appeared before the player's eyes. The experience is so realistic. Wow, I can even see the fingerprints clearly. The graphics in here are freaking amazing from the player's perspective. The scenery appeared incredibly real. The entire perspective was like a real-life experience. Suddenly, at this moment, the player saw a blue slime monster in front of them. Oh, is that a slime? It's so cute. Look how dazed it looks. Anyway, I'll try to take it down. After saying that, the player immediately raised their weapon to fight that seemingly harmless monster, let out a soft Q sound. The player paused for a moment. Immediately, the once docile slime rushed forward to attack the player, causing her to fall backward, unable to react in time. What the hell? Wait a minute, somebody help me. The player attacked by it couldn't resist for long and quickly died. At that moment, a notification suddenly appeared. You have died. You have just received a penalty. You cannot log in for the next 24 hours. Please be more careful next time. Below the video, it received just as much engagement. Everyone was commenting enthusiastically. Oh my god, did he just get killed by a slime? What the heck? Is he faking it? How can you die in just one hit? The slimes have been unusually strong lately. I died too. What are you guys talking about? The slimes are stronger. The result of undergoing 1025 recognitions level 15 slime. A tragic outcome caused by a seemingly weak creature. Arcadia averages 10,000 newbies a day, an absolute annihilation. All new players gradually grew to fear this little monster. A very cute-looking slime approached chirping. It was quickly sliced in half, but the surrounding players were also struggling immensely. What the heck? What's wrong with these slimes? How is my HP bar almost empty after just 2 hits? Someone was even chased to the point of tears, helplessly crying, "Help me! This thing is chasing me relentlessly. Someone save me." Just then, on a cliff, Dex looked down, thinking, "Ha ha, what a mess. Come to think of it, these slimes are supposed to be passive, only fighting back when attacked first. How did they become aggressive monsters that attack on sight?" A slime stood confidently before a newbie approaching. Dex thought, could their nature have changed after leveling up? If so, is that recognition the ability to change a monster's nature when it's added? This might be a complex ability of the anarchist poet class. I need to look into this more. Suddenly, he noticed the figures below looked very familiar. Aren't those the people who were following me earlier? Meanwhile, the group below was surrounded by slimes. At that moment, a young man with blue hair yelled, "Akuta! How dare these mere slimes attack us?" As he finished speaking, he saw a slime pounce on him. He could only stand rooted to the spot and take the full brunt of the attack. The monster chirped happily as another notification popped up. An enhanced slime has defeated a newbie. The others saw this and were instantly terrified. He was taken down in just 1 hit. Then a series of piercing screams rang out. Ah, help, an enhanced slime has defeated a newbie. Recognition increased by 1. An enhanced slime has defeated a newbie. Recognition increased by 1. Dex, witnessing the whole scene, finally understood. He licked his lips slyly. This is more interesting than I thought. Just 2 hours later, his recognition had risen to 3,924 points. He put his hands on his hips and laughed gleefully. I earned this much in just 2 hours. That's 4 times the recognition I had before. This makes my 2 days of assassinating newbies before seem pointless. His newbie slayer count is now 4,949. I shouldn't just focus on the quest anymore. Wouldn't it be better to strengthen the slimes as much as possible and reap the rewards from them? The slimes have reached level 15 and can no longer be upgraded. Seeing the notification, Dex felt disappointed. I knew it wouldn't be that easy. But he wasn't the type to be stubborn about it. Oh well. Anyway, this level is good enough, so it's fine. Dex looked at the group of slimes before him and waved his hand. All right then, I'm counting on you guys. The slimes jumped in response. Okay, Master. Meanwhile, at the Korean branch of Arcadia Online, Kwon Myung-han's eyes widened in anger as he roared, "Report now, yes sir, so scary." A brave employee stepped forward and said, "Today at our 1,320, we confirmed that the stats of many slimes have increased strangely. Because of this, a huge number of new players were suddenly defeated. This situation is still ongoing." When Kwon Myung-han asked if there was any news from headquarters, the other person reported honestly regarding that we have run multiple checks but have not received any answers yet. Kwon Myung-han got angry. Damn it, I'll check it myself later. Anyway, how much stronger have the slimes become? If they weren't at least 2 times stronger, we wouldn't be in this situation. The employee stammered in fear. Yes, about that. 10 times. This time it was his turn to be surprised. They're 10 times stronger. What finally Kwon Myung-han turned away thinking 10 times. Not just 2 or 3 times, but a whole 10 times stronger. The staff behind him fearfully lowered their heads to the floor. Suddenly, Kwon Myung-han shouted, "Wait, yes, how much health does a new player's HP bar have initially?" The employee replied, They have exactly 100 HP. Kwon Myung-han was horrified. That means with the slime's current power... The employee probably guessed his boss's train of thought. Yes, for a level 1 newbie, a single hit is enough to send them back to town to recover. With that said, he quickly took action himself. Everything that happens in Arcadia can't be due to a simple bug, because it's a world calculated with extreme precision. By the most advanced technology, he opened the door and entered. But we can't just ignore this incident. And Kwon Myung-han decided to experience it firsthand. If I can't understand the current situation from the reports, then I'll observe it directly in the game. A blue light appeared before his eyes. Game start. A notification appeared in his vision. Authority confirmation. Level 3 Administrator Executive Director Kwon Myung-han confirmed. Connection permitted. He slowly entered the virtual reality space, his face filled with determination. I am here to find the truth. He called Alice. The small, platinum-haired girl appeared upon hearing his voice. At the newbie hunting ground, Slime Territory Number 1. Right now, Dex was walking through a forest. He silently observed the path ahead. Dex stroked his chin and said, there's no one here. Something must be up. The system displayed a notification. Newbie Slayer kill players who have not yet undergone their class advancement. Number of newbies you have defeated. 9,640. Time remaining 1 day, 22 hours, 46 minutes, and 17 seconds. At this point, he guessed the kill count was slowing down. Almost no new players were coming anymore. I bet the rumor that this place is dangerous is spreading. He watched other players fighting to kill slimes. Not only that, but level 15 adventurers have also started coming here to hunt slimes. With my current strength and the slime horde, it's hard to deal with. He saw other players getting a ton of experience points, and Dex realized this means this place isn't very useful anymore, huh? But, well, it's not too bad. He looked at the number on the system, 9,987, because the quest number hadn't stopped increasing completely and the count was slowly rising. And finally, it reached the 10,000 mark. Immediately, a system notification appeared. You have defeated 10,000 newbies. This is an achievement few can attain. You have become a universally recognized vicious murderer. Title acquired. Newbie Slayer. Yes, the quest reward has been upgraded. You will now receive a medium-grade reward. Another notification panel appeared this time, showing a reward chest. Medium-grade reward. Accept. Dex was overjoyed to receive the notification about the medium-grade reward. A medium-grade reward, I hit the jackpot. Let's see what's inside. He quickly pressed Accept on the notification panel. After opening the chest, a purple light appeared. The light was incredibly blinding and grew larger and larger. Dex frowned. He gritted his teeth, filled with anger. What is this? Is the medium-grade reward actually a trap? Why is this glowing effect so blinding? After the light completely faded, only a black orb remained floating in midair, and Dex wondered that black thing must be the reward, right? It's an egg. The black egg began to show a large crack, then it completely broke in two. Another blinding light poured out from within the egg. Another system notification appeared instantly. You have opened the medium-grade reward. You have received a companion. A man with white wings emerged from the light created by the egg. The man smiled. Aiming his blazing red eyes at Dex, he asked coldly, "Who are you who dares to summon me?" But Dex, intimidated by the man's overwhelming presence, kept backing away in fear. However, he was also incredibly excited, thinking, this pressure is terrifying. What kind of monster did I just summon? As Dex's eyes widened in amazement, he seemed to realize something. Wait a minute, that's the King of Chaos, the Demon King Satan. He looked at the blazing red eyes hidden within the purple light. Dex was utterly shocked. The Demon King Satan gave an incredibly arrogant smile. It seems summoning my full self was a bit difficult, eh? It looks like I've been summoned in a younger form. The Demon King Satan now appeared in the form of a child with white hair, red eyes, and wings on his back. Despite appearing in a small body, the Demon King Satan was still extremely arrogant about his own power. Oh well, it doesn't matter. With this amount of power, it should be enough to kill those damn angels. Dex coldly watched the Demon King, who was only knee-high, flailing his arms and legs. The Demon King was confused. Finally, the Demon King realized that his body had become incredibly small. He looked at himself in a complete panic. Where am I? Whoa, what's with this appearance? What happened to me? Why am I suddenly so tiny? The Demon King gritted his teeth in resentment and looked at Dex. Hey, you human over there. Dex immediately replied, The Demon King angrily asked him, Are you the one who summoned me? Dex scratched his head a bit confused by the Demon King's question. Summon you? I can't do something like that yet. I just opened a medium-grade reward and you appeared. And it says you're my companion. The Demon King was so shocked he went pale, screaming internally. The Demon King found the whole situation unbelievable. He kept questioning it. No, I'm not some low-level imp. How can I be someone else's companion? What the hell is this? How can I be bound by a contract that wasn't even discussed? I've commanded many demons in the underworld, so why am I here now? Dez looked at the Demon King with his tiny body kneeling on the ground holding his head. What is this brat saying? With a hint of disbelief still in his eyes, Dez muttered, So this is the Demon King. Remembering his once majestic and powerful form, the Demon King was now utterly furious, sitting on the ground holding his face. Damn it, what kind of rotten luck is this, and what the hell is this crap? Seriously! After thinking it over, he irritably called out to Dez. Hey, human. Dez was puzzled. The Demon King floated in mid-air to be at eye level with him. He crossed his arms and coldly said to Dez, regardless, Since I am bound by the contract to be your companion, I suppose we will be traveling together. For the time being, Dez replied succinctly, Is that so? The Demon King and his tiny body sat cross-legged on Dez's head, and from there the Demon King looked down at him. He took the initiative and made a suggestion since things have come to this. Let's just try to get along, shall we? Dez looked up at the Demon King on his head and remained silent. He lowered his gaze and wondered, The Demon King is sitting on my head. Should I be happy about this? Seeing no reply, the Demon King angrily cleared his throat. He floated in the air, observing Dez. Hey, human, it seems you possess a pretty good source of power, don't you? Dez looked at him, confused. Power? What power? Just then, a system notification appeared. You can use acknowledgement to release the power of your companion. But your companion is a demon. Please be careful not to be deceived or instigated. The Demon King flashed a very wicked smile. Oh, I see now. So this is the reason I am bound to this contract. If things go well, I'll be able to crush those damned angels. Dez asked him, confused. What are you talking about? Explain yourself. The Demon King flew in front of Dez and asked wickedly, Hey, that power of yours, can you give it to me? Dez had been listening to the Demon King, but didn't understand at all. What power are you talking about? The Demon King smiled and pointed at him. What other one could it be? The power that allows you to overturn the laws of the world, that very thing you possess. After hearing him, Dez could only stare in amazement. What impossible? He asked the Demon King. Again, you mean acknowledgement. The Demon King pointed to himself, trying to entice Dez to give him that power. Exactly, after all, for a human. You can probably only use that power to a limited extent. Instead, give it to me. If you do that, I will reward you handsomely. Des imagined a mountain of gold and jewels. The system notification panel appeared acknowledgement 8,975. Innovation 4. Accuracy 10. Luck 4. Resistance. Des frowned, speculating that the stat the Demon King Satan coveted meant acknowledgement was a special factor in this game. So he asked the Demon King, "What will you give me in exchange for the acknowledgement?" The Demon King laughed loudly, summoning a magic circle. "Let's see if you give me all of it." A brilliant light emerged from the Demon King's magic circle. He waved his hand and asked Dez's opinion, "How about this?" The system displayed a notification panel. Nago's Lament Cloak of Nago, leader of the second-rank power in the underworld. Level requirement 150 physical resistance, 2,500 magic resistance, 1,500 special skill. Absorb Wraith Energy Shield. A level 2 demon-type skill protects the player from one critical hit. Des found it incredibly unbelievable, a level requirement of 150. That's insane. I've heard that even the top-ranked players on the American server who started earlier than the Korean server are only level 50 or so, he thought for me at this moment. In the end, he still refused the item offered by the Demon King. I don't need that. The Demon King sneered. It seems it's not good enough, huh? Right? There's no way the person who contracted with me would be satisfied with something like this. The Demon King asked him, "In that case, is there anything you truly desire?" Des said to him without any hesitation, "Anything I want. Right now, I haven't really thought of anything." Oh. Suddenly, an idea came to him. "Oh, there is one thing. Des asked the Demon King, you can power up monsters too, can't you?" The Demon King was puzzled by Des's question. He asked curiously, "Oh, what monster?" Then Des said a name, Slime. The Demon King was now completely stunned by him. He asked doubtfully, "Slime, yes." Then the Demon King clutched his stomach and couldn't stop laughing. "Hey, you're really crazy. Someone like you is truly interesting. I don't know what to make of this situation. But I've never seen a request like this before." Des ignored his taunts and asked coldly, "So can you do it?" The Demon King pointed to himself and confidently declared, "There is nothing I cannot do. All right, how much will you give me in return?" Des looked at the system acknowledgement 8,975. He laughed loudly and told the Demon King all of it. The Demon King also laughed with delight. They were now standing in a magic circle, and the Demon King shouted, "Establish the contract." A massive beam of light shot down from the sky, illuminating the ground and even the surrounding areas. Lightning crackled across the sky. The slime's body began to change, taking on a humanoid form. A system notification appeared, Slime Queen level 100. A massive flame erupted fiercely, fire arrow Q. A sudden voice rang out, "Hoo-hoo, a piece of cake." A red-haired man carrying a greatsword on his shoulder said, "I don't know if it's a bug or what. But overall, this situation is pretty great. Killing a few of them gives a decent amount of experience points." The large man in armor was extremely dismissive of the slimes. Even at level 20, a slime is still just a slime. "After all, they're just weak little mobs with simple attacks," the red-haired man continued. "That's what makes the slime den a perfect grinding spot for us. Although they can be terrifying for newbies." The girl smiled. Working hard to level up feels really satisfying, doesn't it? She asked her teammates for their opinion. "At this rate, do you think we can aim for the top-ranked hunter spots?" The red-haired man laughed loudly. "It's totally possible. If we keep hunting here, we'll reach that goal for sure." However, the ground suddenly cracked open and the group fell straight down below. The girl screamed in fear, "What's going on?" from the cracks in the ground. A strange voice suddenly rang out. "Remember the helpless fury of your needless deaths." The mysterious voice continued to echo for the race that has always lived in peace. "For yourselves, fight against the evil ones, avenge yourselves, blood for blood." Within the light, numerous slimes appeared, their eyes shining brilliantly, staring intently at the group of people. The red-haired man's group gaped in astonishment at the sight before them. The ground started to shake again, and the girl screamed in terror. The red-haired man wondered, a tremor. Is it an earthquake? Suddenly, his eyes shot wide open in surprise, and a horrified scream rang out. "Oh my God!" In front of them, countless slimes were floating in the air. They stared intently at the three people standing there with their glowing eyes. The light from the slimes was blinding. The red-haired man quickly shielded his eyes with his hand, his thoughts filled with fear. "We're screwed!" Then he screamed loudly, "Somebody save us!" Seemingly prepared to face death. The red-haired man squeezed his eyes shut, but the end he expected didn't happen. Puzzled, the red-haired man cracked his eyes open to see. The slimes weren't attacking him, but were instead quickly flying past him towards somewhere else. The red-haired man was completely shocked by this scene. He wondered confusedly, what are they doing? Where are they going? The man in armor suddenly spoke up. Hey, look over there. There's something over there, isn't there? Something of an immense size suddenly appeared before the players. In front of every player, a system notification was received by all. The girl was puzzled. A status window. Why did it pop up all of a sudden? On the status window, it was written that slimes are a race that loves to wander in green fields, and who love peace more than anyone else. They have been indiscriminately slaughtered by the humans who suddenly appeared. After waiting patiently, the slime tribe has reached a conclusion. There is no more need for patience. Now is the time to stand up and fight for peace. Therefore, a leader has risen from the countless slaughtered slimes to lead the race in the fight to establish new laws. A light began to glow from the Slime Queen's chest. The light was extremely dazzling. Slime Queen level 100. The Slime Queen was now enraged. It let out a cry full of indignation, raising its face to the sky and screaming. After the Slime Queen's roar, the surrounding trees trembled violently. The force of the cry echoed far, causing trees to fall and the ground to shake. Cries for help were heard continuously. Kellen is dead over there. Damn it, a tree fell on my leg. Someone help me get this tree off. Please, help me, I can't die now. The red-haired man jumped to the ground. Next to him, his armored teammate was trapped under a large tree with only a hand visible. The red-haired man's face was now etched with pure terror. He faced the Slime Queen. The only thing he could do was cry out, "Oh my God." Dez and the Demon King looked down from above at the scene of chaos and death below. Dez's eyes widened in amazement. He asked the Demon King in disbelief, "What have you done?" The Demon King placed his hands on his hips. He wore a very smug smile. "What, I just helped the slimes get stronger, just as you said." "Wait," Dez said angrily. "Wait when I told you to make them stronger. I didn't ask you to make them this overwhelmingly powerful." Suddenly, a powerful roar echoed. The immense power almost blew the two of them away. Dex hurriedly ran away. He gritted his teeth in anger while the Demon King was extremely excited. "Ha ha ha, she's so bold. If she gets any stronger, she might even earn a spot on the rankings of the Demon World Army." The Demon King ran after Dex, excitedly telling him about the slime's future plans. Cuckoo, although they are just weak monsters, but when their desire for revenge is stirred, they become surprisingly strong. They will surely create their own rules. Dex was confused. Desire for revenge. What are you talking about? The Demon King winked playfully and told him what else. Just like what you've been seeing. These people appeared and killed many slimes. I just awakened their desire for revenge a little. I also used the acknowledgement you gave me. Dez was extremely surprised. The Demon King explained to him, bringing a creature to the next evolutionary level with a little acknowledgement. That is the ability I possess. The acknowledgement at this moment down below. The enormous slime army continuously poured out. Shouts immediately rang out. "They're coming for us." "Everyone get into battle formation." A shield wall was erected in front of the players. They shouted, "Stop them. If they break through the defensive line, we will die." The slimes began to attack the players, starting a brutal war. The system displayed a notification main storyline. The Forgotten Darkness has begun to form. Linked quest defeat. The new player slayer has been removed. Linked quest. The slime's wrath has appeared before all players. A status window appeared. In the status window, the system announced that the main scenario, the Forgotten Darkness, has begun to form. The slime's wrath has appeared. The forgotten evil darkness of ancient times has connected with the slimes and awakened the wrath within them. The slime individuals consumed by anger will destroy everything. Everything with a trace of humanity. Block their attack and protect your base. How to win: protect the new player city, defeat the Slime Queen. Time remaining 6 days, 23 hours, 57 minutes, and 24 seconds. You will fail when the new player city's guardian crystal is destroyed. If you fail, the new player city will be destroyed. After seeing the content in the status window, cries of astonishment rang out continuously. A main scenario. How can it be so absurd? The new player city will be permanently destroyed, so what will happen to us? Ridiculous, what kind of messed up game is this? A loud scream suddenly rang out from outside the city. Kya, a short-haired girl, froze upon hearing this cry. She looked to the side. At this moment, the only thought that appeared in her mind was, "I'm screwed." The Slime Queen appeared, looking down at all the players in the city. The Demon King suddenly asked Dex, "So what are you going to do now?" Dex asked in confusion, "What do you mean?" "Everyone must be busy now trying to stop those slimes." The Demon King leaned closer to him. He had a very wicked idea and whispered to Dex, "Now you secretly destroy the new player city's guardian crystal. Then everything will be over, won't it, eh?" Dex secretly glanced at him. He thought to himself, "This bastard, all his words are trying to guide me to do what he wants." And of course, he wouldn't do what the Demon King hoped he would do. Dex answered him, "From now on, I will just sit and watch." The Demon King was doubtful. Watch, but why? The Demon King continued to laugh wickedly as he speculated, You want to wait until the last moment to crush all their hopes, don't you, Kukuku? Excellent. What a magnificent sight indeed. You are the real demon, aren't you? The Demon King was still laughing maniacally to himself. This is going to be a fun day, hoo, he he. Dex was completely helpless with him, just let him be. At this time, the system continuously displayed notifications. You have defeated a new player. Acknowledgement has increased by 1. You have defeated a new player. Acknowledgement has increased by 1. And Dex was surrounded by a series of notifications, and when he saw the content, he was extremely surprised. Damn, it's just as he said. I have to make a decision. Between the players and the monsters, which side should I help to benefit more? The Slime Queen, a female monster created from countless innocent little slime souls who were slaughtered with a strong will for revenge, possessing a large and overwhelming body. With a characteristic green color, she was roaring angrily in the dark night. I have reached level 100. The stats are respectively HP 12,000, MP 3,000, Armor 250. Magic Resist 120, Physical Attack 5,500, along with the skills Ruler's Roar, Leap, and the trait Shared Tribal Consciousness, able to regenerate quickly. And especially because of her grudge, she utterly loathes humanity. This entire scene was being broadcast in a private meeting room of the Korean branch under the leadership of Kwon Myung-han. He was resting his chin on his hands, intently observing the situation. Then suddenly, the scenario team leader, department head Kang Tae-hun, who was sitting nearby, abruptly shot up from his seat and anxiously said the server must be shut down immediately. There must be something wrong here. Otherwise, how can a level 100 monster appear in the beginner's village? Hwang Ji-hee, the lead designer of the design team, also spoke up in agreement with his opinion. He's right. We have never designed such a monster before. That means the monster was not designed by the Korean branch. I think this was planned by the headquarters beforehand. I think it might be better if we do something. Kang Tae-hun immediately turned and reacted harshly. Executive Director, we must report this to headquarters. I don't know what the developers are thinking, but they must have specific policies for issues like this. This is an abuse of power. As Kwon Myung-han lowered his head in deep thought, he recalled the recent unexpected events. The main scenario suddenly activating in the investigation of that suspicious killer. Finally, the appearance of the Slime's Wrath raid. After a moment of contemplation, a bold thought suddenly appeared in his mind, causing him to frown. Don't tell me that. Do you all know what our company wants to achieve? Hearing Kwon Myung-han ask such a question, it left everyone bewildered. Kang Tae-hun asked in astonishment. Oh, what did you just say? But Kwon Myung-han ignored him and continued seriously. It is unlimited potential and infinite freedom. Do you all think things like this are our plan? I mean, from headquarters, do you think those lazy bums would create a detailed plan and just throw it at us? A barrage of questions was asked. Hwang Ji-hee asked coldly, what are you talking about? As if afraid that people didn't understand his thoughts, Kwon Myung-han continued to explain a player caused all of this. The appearance of the main scenario, the beginner slayer manipulating the number of slimes and so on, and the appearance of the boss monster, all of these things. Everyone present in the meeting room was simultaneously stunned. A clamor of noise erupted. How could that be possible? Wait, if we check the quest log, it's actually possible. While Kang Tae-hun asked doubtfully, does that mean all of this? Was caused by one suspicious player, Kwon Myung-han replied in any case. If this situation was caused by a player, then we cannot intervene because that is Arcadia's policy, he said, looking down at the tablet under his desk. We will have to accept the penalty for this. If your mission fails, the beginner town will be permanently destroyed right now. The beginner town is in an extremely critical and chaotic situation. Large fires have erupted, engulfing everything, seemingly about to submerge all the houses there. The battle between the players and the slime monsters continued to rage fiercely with no signs of stopping. Both sides aggressively charged in to slaughter each other. Guard Bayen rushed forward and sliced one in half. A small slime monster, he thought nervously. So far, I've only taken down one. This village will be wiped out if there are no adventurers left here. More importantly, their numbers. Where the hell did so many of these slimes come from? While Bayen was still lost in his thoughts, a slime monster had appeared and approached from behind him at some point. He turned his head in fright, thinking, I'm a goner for sure this time. Unexpectedly, at that life-or-death moment, a blonde-haired man suddenly stood in front to fight for him, turning his head back to shout loudly, "Take this chance to retreat, old man." Bayen suddenly came to his senses. All right, I understand." The two of them immediately ran to hide in a small alley tucked between the houses. Bayen clutched his apparently seriously injured arm and said wearily, "Woo, I didn't think they would chase us all the way here." The blonde-haired man, while observing the situation outside, comforted him. "Treat your wounds here. I'll keep watch." Guard Bayen looked up at the man and said, "Thank you. I only escaped death because of you. I don't know how to thank you enough." The blonde-haired man turned back, gave a thumbs up, and replied with a smile, Don't worry about it, I just did what I had to do. Bayan didn't see it as a normal thing, he still insisted no. Looking at you reminds me of my commander. He also used to go around helping people in danger, just like you. Hearing that, the blonde-haired man scratched his head in embarrassment and forced a smile. All right, while thinking to himself, this is actually more awkward than I thought. Guard Bayan suddenly became more tense. Something has brought me here. He said, then looked straight at the man and asked, when you have time, could you meet with me for a moment? The warrior's records are written in my grandfather's journal. The blonde-haired man looked at his system's quest panel. Hidden Quest the Savior. You have met all the conditions for a class advancement. Do you accept the title of legendary hero? He was a little surprised, unable to believe his eyes. A hidden quest. Have I finally found a hidden quest like in the rumors? Wow, this is insane. Is this something people can find in the main scenario? Then he struck a very determined pose. I'll do it. I'm really curious about what that guard said. Guard Bayan was amused by his demeanor. Ho, ho, ho. I'll be waiting for you, but first he said we need to stop this monster. That battle. 3 days had passed since the Slime's Wrath raid began, and after about half a week dedicated to the raid, the players were truly helpless against the Slimes. Throughout the 3 days, however, the Korean players did not back down. The tide of battle turned when high-level players also joined the raid. The newbies also formed parties and fought systematically. More importantly, after killing 1,000 Slimes, everyone would receive the Slime Slayer title. This title increased the player's power, providing a 30% resistance to slimes and a 40% increase in damage dealt to slimes. With this, they were able to slow down the slimes' advance. The newbies had begun to see a glimmer of hope. A large number of slimes were annihilated, piled high as a mountain. The blonde-haired man stepped forward and planted a flag on top of it. He laughed with satisfaction. Excellent, let's keep it up. He was on a cliff somewhere. Dez was standing with his arms crossed, intently observing the system panel in front of him. It was his ongoing quest, Newbie Massacre. Kill users who have not yet changed their class. Number of newbies killed 32,576. Time remaining 1 day, 22 hours, 46 minutes, and 17 seconds. Demon King Satan stared at the number of newbies killed on the screen with great satisfaction, laughing gleefully, K-E-K-K-E, to think you've killed over 30,000 people. Now this is what you call a real war. I've never seen a player as cruel as you. Then he became even more excited, flying up and patting Dex on the head repeatedly while continuing to laugh. KKK brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Dex felt uneasy being praised by a demon. For doing such evil things felt strange. He looked down at his score on the quest panel. Enough, 22,576. I can't believe I've accumulated this many. It would be very difficult to reach this number. If I killed them one by one, Satan spoke up. So what will you do next? Dex asked back blankly. Do what? Satan crossed his arms with a deadpan expression and replied, what's next? I'm talking about the current situation. If you do nothing, humanity will surely win. Dez looked at the panoramic view of the crowd below, pondered for a moment, then gave a cold, sinister smile. That wouldn't be any fun. He then became engrossed in manipulating the system. Satan beside him felt very curious. Why have you suddenly gone quiet? He didn't answer his question. Instead, directly putting on a tattered black cloak with many rips, Satan saw dark bloodstains lingering on the hem. He was startled. What is that? Don't tell me you smeared blood on it. Dex gave a cold laugh regardless. It's time to choose our side. Along with Satan's triumphant smile, Dex finally made his decision. We choose the Slime faction. Elsewhere at a high-rise building in Korea, a meeting with Myung-han was making a plea to his leader. Please stop the raid quest, please. The CEO heard the request from her subordinate and slowly turned her captivating gaze towards him. It was a beautiful face with a noble aura that stirred people's hearts. It was Lee Mi-yeon, the CEO of Arcadia Limited, an eagle perched on a high branch. It spread its wings soaring across the vast sky. The slime raid's duration was 7 days, a period both long and short, the origin of a place. More fittingly called a battlefield than a newbie village. The end was drawing near. Life here seemed to have returned to its initial peace. People bustled about, gathering in small groups to chat with each other. The time until the raid's end was now only 0 hours, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. A young man in black said cheerfully, "The slimes have gotten quieter. Maybe they've given up. It's been a whole week and they couldn't break through the defense line, so what else can they hope for?" The blonde-haired man standing beside him enthusiastically agreed, "Yeah, 10 minutes, only 10 minutes left. It's almost over." The time was starting to count down bit by bit. The players here were all filled with hope for victory. Little did they know that this was merely the calm before the storm, just as everyone thought victory and defeat were clearly decided. The system's countdown clock showed exactly 10 minutes remaining. The moment of life and death was only just beginning amidst the confusion and fear of those present. The sky gradually became dyed a demonic dark crimson. Everyone was terrified and panicked. What's happening? Why did the sky suddenly turn dark red like this? Damn, I have a bad feeling about this. Everyone gather around quickly. I have a bad premonition. While the opposing side was in chaos on this side. Dex gave a sinister smile. All right. He stood on the Slime Queen's head and gave the order, let's begin. The hunt was officially on. Back at the newbie team's front line, the blonde-haired man hurriedly waved his hands and shouted loudly, trying to stabilize the situation. Everyone don't be afraid. It doesn't matter if the sky changes color, it's almost over. No matter what the slimes do, they can't do anything anymore. As he was speaking, a sound cut him off. Guard Bayan said tensely, it's moving. The moving thing he was referring to was the Slime Queen. She appeared with a colossal form towering several tens of meters over the player's city wall. Humans had killed countless innocent slimes over a long period of time. The slimes began to resist because they could no longer endure the cruel actions of humankind. And they began to resolutely seek revenge out of anger and to make a stand. The monster leader, the Slime Queen, had appeared. She let out a furious roar. The massive, resounding roar forced the newbie players to take a few steps back, to stay on their feet. At this moment, the system's notification bar was still counting down the time until the raid's end with only 0 hours, 9 minutes, and 58 seconds left. While the players were still terrified, the Slime Queen stretched out her slimy hands and slammed them straight onto the ground, unleashing countless baby slimes. The sheer number of slimes was so overwhelming that the group of players lost all will to fight. Most of them immediately dropped their weapons. Dropping swords and shields to flee for their lives, some were so scared they collapsed to the ground, unable to move. Another group ran for dear life. The scene instantly devolved into chaos. What kind of slime monster is this? The blonde-haired man saw the situation was bad and frantically shouted after everyone, maintain formation, don't run. He tried his best to reassure and plead with them, urging everyone to fight, attack. Use everything you've got, magic or bows and arrows, anything works. Are you guys really that scared? This is just a game. Why is everyone so afraid? Suddenly, he felt an approaching pressure that made him fall silent in terror. A black shadow loomed over his vision. He craned his neck up and saw the huge, sticky hand of the Slime Queen. As it slowly descended upon his head, the man's eyes widened in horror, watching the hand gradually crush him, and he cursed in despair, damn it. Did they really create this thing and expect us to defeat it? His last words were completely swallowed by the purple slime pouring down from the Slime Queen at that very moment. Suddenly, from a distance, a series of unexpected attacks were aimed directly at the female monster as a fierce red-haired man roared, "Listen up, everyone." It was a success. Grabbing the attention of the disorganized crowd, they looked up towards the source of the voice. The aggressive red-haired man shouted loudly, 5 minutes, just hold on for 5 minutes. You don't have to kill it, just draw its attention and run around. Just let it touch the Guardian Stone in the newbie village and we'll win. The stone he was referring to was a large purple spirit stone that radiated a faint dim light. It was placed on a pedestal in the very center of the village. After hearing the reminder, everyone snapped out of it. We must protect it at all costs. Let's put the reputation of Korean players on the line. Let's go. They exchanged glances, signaling to each other before nodding in unison. They all picked up their weapons again, then clambered towards the red-haired man, roaring, ready to resume the fight. Everyone was fired up with morale. Damn it, don't worry about dying. Just attack first. It's fine if you cannot deal any damage. Anyone with long-range attack abilities, get over here and attack now. This is the human wave strategy after successfully rallying the group. The red-haired man looked extremely smug. It seems we've solved the most pressing issue in a pinch. Excellent, let's do it now. Both sides were in position ready for battle. The giant Slime Queen faced a large group of newbie players who would be the final victor. The time for the decisive battle was now down to only 10 seconds. And the countdown began. The slime monster struck first, pouring a large amount of bluish-purple slime towards the players as she aggressively swept her arm in a fierce motion. It broke through the defensive wall while sending a small number of players flying into the air. The red-haired man immediately advanced, wielding his massive sword. He even issued a challenge, "Come at me." "I'm right here, you filthy pile of slime," he said, then slammed his sword into the ground for momentum and charged straight towards the Slime Queen, rushing forward with incredible force. Golden flames flickered around his sword. The Slime Queen was in no hurry, and just as the man was about to close in, she used her magic to cast a spell. She created a barrier shield that repelled the man with the force of his own attack, flinging him away. However, he remained stubborn and refused to give up. "It's too late. Take this and let's end it." "You wretched slime," cut to the CEO's office, high up in a skyscraper opposite Myung-han, who was standing before the desk. Limmy Ion asked coldly. "So then, you want to request the authority to stop the slime raid?" Myung-han replied tensely. "That's right, I've already told you that's impossible." Lim Hyong replied nonchalantly as he stood up. "I've already told you it's impossible. We are not the gods of Arcadia, we only manage it. Our role is to implement appropriate measures, not to erase the entire incident back inside the game." After landing a blow on the female slime monster, the red-haired man sat down wearily on the steps of the pedestal holding the village's guardian spirit stone. He panted heavily and muttered to himself. It's really over, isn't it? Just when he thought everything was settled and the outcome decided, a sudden noise came from behind the guardian stone began to crack to his horror. He never would have imagined it. He had defeated what he thought was the final boss of the quest, the Slime Queen, and yet after a moment of carelessness, Dex had quietly approached him from behind. And with a single sword thrust, he stabbed the guardian stone. He said casually, "Oops." My hand slipped. The system began to announce, "The guardian stone protecting the village has been destroyed. Linked quest. You have failed to quell the slime's rage. The newbie village will be permanently destroyed." The red-haired man's expression was one of deep shock as he struggled to utter a few words. You bastard!" The curse had barely escaped his lips before it was silenced by a single ruthless and decisive sword strike. But Dex showed not even a hint of emotion. He just coldly wondered to himself, I don't get any recognition points for killing him. Is he a newbie? Oh, well, I've killed plenty already, so never mind. The other players rushed over in a panic after receiving the system notification. Damn it, I can't believe the Guardian Stone was destroyed. When did the slimes get into the square? But when they arrived, the scene before them left them speechless. Looking towards where the Guardian Stone used to be, there was a figure in a flowing black cloak standing and waiting. Wait, that's not a monster, it's a player. And Dex slowly turned to face them directly. A large, mystical purple crystal was cracking apart as a menacing voice rang out, "The Guardian Crystal has been destroyed." As the voice faded, they saw Dex in his black attire and familiar sword standing on the platform where the crystal had been. The three men who witnessed this were at first astonished. Their jaws dropped. Then they trembled and asked, "Who is that?" They looked in terror towards him and screamed, "What the hell is wrong with this bastard?" The blonde one yelled, "Hey, you there!" Another one of the three added, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" He snarled and yelled, "Die, you thief!" His scream was piercing, but Dex just calmly turned his handsome face and gave a cool smirk. Everyone grew furious and charged forward with their weapons. They didn't forget to shout, "Catch that bastard, find out his identity first. I'll spend the rest of my life torturing you." He chuckled softly and gave a provocative reply. "Is that so?" He continued, "But this isn't the time for that. Hearing this, everyone was bewildered. The man asked in confusion what a system announcement rang out. Main scenario, Act 1. A Forgotten Darkness Rises quest. The slime's rage roll. Failure, the newbie village will be permanently destroyed. A powerful beam of purple light shot out. It soared into the sky and exploded. The people below were in an uproar. Someone shouted loudly. The slime queen exploded. Green slime erupted from cracks in the ground. They gradually grew larger and stronger. The people around screamed in terror. There's something under the ground. It's rising up. Everyone watched in astonishment as the slime gradually floated into the sky. They were frozen in fear, not knowing what to do. Someone else added, "It looks like they're merging into one." One person raised a sword and slashed at them, saying, "Don't tell me a slime is being born." Another person heard this and shouted agitatedly, "What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? I know we're under attack, but there's no way a monster could be born in the middle of the village." Just as they predicted, a giant slime had indeed merged together, radiating a terrifying aura. Before anyone could react, it slammed a powerful blow down onto the ground. It made them scream in terror as more green slime flew towards them, causing them to panic and shield themselves with their hands, only to see giant purple slimes appearing before their eyes. They looked incredibly bizarre, everyone said in fear. They're huge. The system notification board flashed repeatedly. The once despised slimes of the Arcadia continent, they have triumphed. The humans who massacred them and are now being hunted to extinction by their kind. The slimes cried out, "QQQ." The system displayed another message. A legion of slimes rises in a human territory. A flash of pink hair fluttered in the night sky. The system continued along with their leader, only to reveal the slime queen sitting on a turquoise throne. Her appearance had changed into that of a beautiful cold woman, as if to say, "I have returned and I am more powerful than before." Below Dex and his companion exclaimed, "Wow, she's actually pretty cool." The city no longer held its former beauty. Instead, it was a dark, slimy landscape covered by a giant magic circle and countless slimes. The system's notification sound rang out again. The newbie village has been converted into Slime Colony 8. The announcement was broadcast to everyone in the city. Warning, you have entered a level 80 hunting zone. Please be careful. This made everyone's jaw drop in stunned disbelief. They trembled in fear, saying, 880, what the hell is going on, Caillou? The sound of a slime from behind the man made his hair stand on end, and he screamed, ah! A legion of giant slimes surrounded the three of them. Dex smiled sinisterly and said, this is what you meant. He continued, putting the cart before the horse, are we? The slimes began their attack, causing everyone to scatter in a panic, screaming cut to a blonde girl with a radiant smile appearing on screen saying, and here is today's gaming news. I'm your announcer, Mika. It's a pleasure to see you all again, she continued. Arcadia is widely known as a virtual reality game. The events unfolding within the game have been the source of many complaints from players. Because of the incident in the newbie village, the sound of the news report continued to play while he lay in bed. Looking tired from staying up late playing too many games, he was catching up on sleep. After a while, he woke up yawning and stretching. The news was still broadcasting that because the players had failed to complete the mission. The existence of a village had been wiped out and turned into a dungeon. This was truly shocking news even for someone like me who has been a reporter for 5 years and a gamer for 25. What do you all think? This is correspondent Mikan. Dex was listening to the news while drying his hair with a towel, only to see comments constantly popping up on his phone screen. Wow, is this for real? An entire starter village disappeared just like that. What a joke. What the hell are those developers doing? Newbies just starting out are so screwed with this kind of start. Is the game's welcome for newbies. A slime party, bring back the starter village, you bastards. Suddenly, a comment from one account caused an uproar. However, I heard this incident is related to the newbie slayer for real. What's that about? I heard a rumor that a player destroyed the Guardian Crystal. It wasn't the slimes they call that guy the newbie slayer, huh? Come on. How could something like that happen? If it's true, then this guy is a total legend, he thought to himself while brushing his teeth and reading the comments. Things are pretty chaotic, huh? I should probably lay low for a while. He continued to think it's probably my fault that so many people lost their items as he thought he read a post my Guardian level. A very high rank is all gone. I was also involved in the recent Starter Village incident. I was doing some quests and was about to level up. But then the NPC told me those quests no longer exist. How is this game company going to explain this? He thought while rinsing his mouth, I only did what the game told me to do. What did they want me to do? He recalled the images of his titles and his companion, the chaotic one companion to the demon lord Satan and that person. Do everything you can to mess everything up, okay? Just like me right now, he put on a thoughtful expression. He scratched his head and thought again, but who cares? If I had broken any rules or anything, the company would have just banned me. He reached for the door handle, still talking to himself. Besides, I should just focus on my own reality. He said while looking out the door filled with light. The scene changes to a certain school. People were walking into the school. Next to the entrance was a sign with large letters, Seomin University Department of Computer Engineering. Dex entered the lecture hall, pulled out a chair, and sat down thinking to himself, the freshman orientation for Seomin University of Technology. It's not a big shot school or anything. But I like the student life and stuff like this. Suddenly, he looked over. He noticed the guy at his desk was watching some video. He thought to himself, the video this guy is watching. Looking closer, he realized he was watching a video of him coming to school and randomly meeting a fan made him think to himself. That's me in there. He watched and continued to think, when was this filmed? Even more surprising, when he looked down at the subtitles, 2 million views, he gulped in astonishment, thinking, what the heck has so many views? But more importantly, there's the money from those views. Suddenly, the guy next to him turned his head and asked, are you interested in this video too? It startled him. He said shyly, I'm sorry, I just happened to glance over. The video looked so interesting, he thought to himself, how could I not watch a video that has me in it? The other guy held out his hand to introduce himself. I'm Ji-gyun. Hello, sitting at the same table like this must be fate. Let's get to know each other, he replied. Oh, hello, I'm Kwon-dex. Ji-gyun continued. This is a clip from the game Arcadia. You know this game right now? Ji-gyun excitedly continued. Everything in there is a total mess right now. There was this starter village where the slimes suddenly revolted and burned the whole village down, he replied. Is that so? He thought to himself. This guy probably isn't interested in me at all. He only talks about Arcadia. Suddenly he changed his tone. He continued, do you know about this newbie slayer? His words made him jump. In fear, he broke out in a sweat and thought, newbie slayer, why is he bringing this up? Does he know who I am? He thought as he looked at Ji-gyun. Maybe he believed in the truth that people with glasses are often very dangerous. The entire scene of the incident at the starter village was being watched live by Lim Yong on a tablet in her office. Faced with this result, she didn't have much of a special reaction, just quietly remarked, "The starter village has been destroyed. I'm going to be very busy from now on." After calmly taking a sip of coffee, according to Arcadia's settings, special cases can definitely happen, but for it to reach this extent, after thinking for a moment, she let out a soft sigh and then smiled. Anyway, this will also help get more people's attention on Arcadia. Let's just consider this a valuable lesson. Recalling the recent harsh reactions, Lim Yong stretched and thought, "It's the first time I've seen Executive Director Kwan so angry." Although she wasn't too concerned about the situation happening inside the game, she couldn't help but be curious. Everything was caused by a single player. I want to see what that person looks like. Scene changes to the gate of Xiamen University. Dex had a slightly surprised look on his face. Does he know who I am now? Ji-gyun was standing against a wall, his face showing a bit of amusement at his expression. He smiled lightly, and his hand immediately slapped his shoulder. "What's wrong with you?" But this action directly made him dazed and confused. Yes, Ji-gyun laughed and told him not to worry too much when he doesn't know anything yet. "You're lucky I'm telling you this. Dex was helpless and sweating profusely." "Yeah, really." His mind was thinking again, is he pretending to know everything? Now Ji-gyun showed him a video here. This is the most recent Newbie Slayer incident. He immediately continued, "They say the Newbie Slayer is closely related to the slime raid on the starter village that day." He excitedly told him, "This is classified information. Only I know about it." He feigned confusion and asked why would a player be able to do that. He thought to himself, he's much sharper than he looks. He observed carefully, if I reveal anything, it will make things very complicated. He definitely couldn't let him find out. "That I'm the Newbie Slayer?" Now Ji-gyun next to him saw his expression and thought he had said too much at the computer engineering department's freshman meeting. The professor on the podium said, "Ahem. It looks like everyone is here. I'm very happy to meet all of you. I am Professor Kim Tae-hun, the head of our school's computer engineering department, although I'm very sorry to have to interrupt this welcoming meeting. But I had to stop by to talk to you and the upperclassmen who are always studying diligently in this computer engineering department." Immediately, the professor's words were met with whispers from the students. "What's he planning to do? You all must have heard a lot on television and news channels about the technology called virtual reality. It has led to a significant revolution in computer science." The professor looked up and said in a slightly angry tone, "Astia," this name immediately caught his attention. "Those who have experienced that world must also know that we can no longer keep up with the world with just computer engineering." The professor's face turned serious, therefore, after countless discussions. Both the department and the university have agreed that the current computer engineering curriculum can no longer keep up with the changes of the times. It was true because all existing techniques today had become old and obsolete in the face of the new culture of virtual reality, Professor Kim stated clearly. Therefore, after a long period of discussion, the school administration and the Ministry of Education and Training have decided that from this year onwards, computer engineering will be changed to virtual reality engineering. This immediately caused an uproar among the upperclassmen, Professor Kim continued. "I know this will cause confusion among you here. But if we don't keep up with the world's great revolution, we will definitely be left behind." By the times Professor Kim affirmed during the lunch break, students were scrambling to get their food. The dining table was full with soup and various side dishes. What a surprise. Ji-gyun felt quite annoyed thinking about the department's name being changed, while he on the opposite side could only wonder why he was eating with this guy. But he quickly changed his expression, and most importantly, I didn't expect the professor to mention Arcadia right in the middle of the meeting. That's awesome, isn't it? He didn't care. Oh, well, he's really addicted to Arcadia, Dex thought to himself. He then asked him, "Hey, on second thought, why don't you play Arcadia?" This question made the piece of meat on his chopsticks fall, immediately startled. He looked up, tilted his head, and changed the subject. "I'd love to, but the equipment for that game is very expensive, so I haven't been able to try it. Besides, I'm not good at games." Ji-gyun opposite him looked bewildered while he himself thought, "Don't get caught, don't get caught." He quickly decided to change the subject as naturally as possible. He glanced at Ji-gyun, "But you play Arcadia, right?" He, with food still on his mouth, laughed loudly. Of course, not only that, he also kept bragging, "I might not look like it, but I'm very good. You know." He feigned surprise, really, but inwardly thought, "Phew, lucky I managed to change the subject," he said while eating. "Let me know when you decide to play, I'll help you. It's a bit difficult these days, because newbies are created in rather random places." Dex immediately replied, "Of course, if I play, I'll message you." After the conversation, he looked at him with a sympathetic and slightly wry smile. "He's really kind, what a strange guy." Tan pouted angrily. "What took you so long, huh? How dare you make me wait? You've got some real nerve." With a sleepy face, he yawned widely and said, "I haven't slept for days because of the slime raid." So I rested a bit before coming here. Tan scowled and kicked him. You're so weak. This is why I shouldn't make deals with humans, he thought to himself. Turning towards him, he figured he must be really bored. Suddenly, a cry rang out, approaching him at high speed. He only had time to turn around before he could react when the Slime Queen pounced on him, her eyes filled with joy, wanting to hug Dex. A moment later, many other slimes rushed in from behind. This caught him completely by surprise, causing him to fall. The other slimes quickly swarmed and pinned him down. Faced with the overwhelming slime assault, he felt helpless. I can't do this. Tan on the other side was also pinned by a slime. Ugh, get off me, you gooey jelly. You guys are so weirdly sticky, he cursed with a scowl. Once everything settled, he found himself face to face with the Slime Queen. The Slime Queen placed her hands on her chest and bowed her head. The system immediately announced emotion display. The Slime Queen expresses her gratitude towards you. The other slimes also close their eyes. Emotion display bow. The slime race will forever remember your contribution in driving away the humans and establishing a territory for the slimes. You are the savior of the slime race. Dex raised his hand, allowing her to stand up. I'm not that great. The system immediately announced, your status has changed from ally of the slimes to savior of the slimes, and the reward is the Slime Crown. A golden crown suddenly materialized from fragments in the air, quickly appearing on his head. This quite surprised him. The system immediately announced recognition increased by 2,413 points. Quest complete Wrath of the Slimes. Dex was surprised and exclaimed, wow, so many rewards. System announcement. Title acquired Savior of the Slimes. You have saved the slime race from a great crisis and helped them prosper. They have etched your contribution into their memory. This caused his stats to increase rapidly. Dex sighed. I've got the titles Newbie Slayer and Savior of the Slimes now. Best not to show these to anyone. Hey, Master Tan called from behind, getting his attention. What is it? Tan floating in the air with an aggrieved expression, Tan asked, why aren't we leaving this area? If I see one more purple thing, I'm seriously going to puke. Dex sighed helplessly at the clingy slimes while Tan scowled in disgust beside him. The Slime Queen shouted with a joyful face, bidding him farewell as he left the slime territory. He looked back at them one last time. Everything was settled. He turned forward again. All right, let's go. To the next location. At the foot of a towering mountain range, a village deep within the peaks was passing its days peacefully. A powerful aura suddenly radiated outwards, carried far on the wind. It came from a woman with golden hair and glowing angelic wings. Though her eyes were closed, the light emanating from her could not be contained. Due to the previous slime raid incident, the newbie village was completely destroyed, but players were able to find a new location for it faster than expected. This was mainly because recently, a post like this appeared on the forums. There's the Mackay Barony, 10 kilometers from the newbie village. I'm recommending it because the surrounding monsters aren't too strong and the items sold by the NPCs here aren't very expensive. The poster even thoughtfully included pictures of the prosperous Mackay Barony. The post quickly grabbed everyone's attention and the comment section exploded. Hey, I've been there before too. I think this is the closest place to the newbie village. No wonder so many people have been gathering here lately. This is great. A new area. Anyone want to party up and hunt together? The rumors spread like wildfire. And so the players gathered at the Mackay Barony. Everyone knew about it. Just then, a pair of slender legs skidded to a stop. It was none other than Dex. His face was expressionless as he gazed forward. Not far ahead was the entrance to the Mackay Barony. A grumpy guard shouted, "Halt, what's your name?" Suddenly, the Demon King peeked out from his cloak, glancing around furtively. He answered curtly, Dex. The guard hummed thoughtfully. Right. Then he spoke again in a loud voice. Dex, you're from the newbie village too, right? He hesitated slightly. Yes, I suppose so. The guard sighed. What in the world happened over there? I heard something completely absurd happened. The wrath of the slimes or something like that. He was inwardly shocked. The rumors are spreading among the NPCs too. I need to be more careful. So he said, you would know if you were there. They aren't normal slimes anymore. He added Edeline has now turned into a monster habitat, and the lowest level monster there is probably around level 85. The guard was stunned. 85, how is that possible? Seeming to realize his reaction was a bit much, he quickly adjusted his tone. I understand. Now I understand why everyone is gathering here. The reason you came here is probably so you can settle down here, right? He added. Please wait a moment. I'll get things ready and then let you into the city. Dex replied cheerfully, Thank you, sir. Meanwhile, the Demon King was still peering around everywhere. He then asked, What are you looking for? It grumbled, scratching its head. This place feels familiar. Surprised, he asked familiar, it mused. Never mind. I'm probably just overthinking it. Then it abruptly changed the subject. But why do you keep calling me Tan? I already have a super awesome name. It's Satan, the king of chaos, Demon King Satan. He replied without a second thought. I call you Tan because your real name is too cool and would attract unwanted attention. If I used your real name. Hearing this, Tan laughed with delight, drawing out his words. Ah, so that's why. That makes sense. Ha ha ha, Dex thought to himself. Look at him so pleased with himself. It quickly turned serious and changed the topic again. Anyway, Master, what do you plan to do with that stuff? He didn't catch on at first and asked that stuff. It gestured wildly, the power you call recognition. It looks like you've earned a lot more since we first met. He understood and replied, oh, right. On his system panel, it showed recognition 33,551. Seeing this made Tan practically drool, his eyes sparkling as he spoke. And I didn't think you would have saved up that much. If you add up all the points you've already spent, you must have killed over 40,000 beings. Huh. Am I right? But you're not planning to use it, then give it to me. He flatly cut him off. No. It immediately flew into a rage, yelling, why not? You need me to use it anyway. If you give that to me, I'll give you some incredible things. Just name it. I'll give you whatever item you want. It started painting a grand picture. I guarantee you'll be able to rule this entire continent with ease if you equip these items. The items it mentioned were a sword, a shield armor, and a crystal orb. It added, not only that you could live the rest of your life in comfort just by selling one of them. All right, Dex sighed. I'll talk to you about it later, just wait until then. It could only cross its arms in frustration. Tisk, I've said everything I can. In reality, he was thinking Tan's idea is actually quite tempting. After all, the item he showed me earlier was a level 150 unique grade item. But I don't think it is a good idea to just rely on Tan and that so-called recognition system. There must be a more valuable use for recognition than the items Tan is trying to push on me. He silently clenched his fist. I need to be more cautious about using recognition, especially since I still don't know much about it. He suddenly smirked. Besides, doing that would be pretty boring. Inside the Mackay barony, the scene was prosperous and bustling. The streets on both sides were filled with the calls of vendors selling good cheap wares. Step right up, all items can be traded for iron ore. Hey, handsome, how about a fine sword? Seeing Dex wandering about aimlessly, Tan asked, so where are we going now? Truthfully, he didn't know either and just said, I'll take a look around, find some useful things, and maybe a suitable quest. Suddenly, his eyes widened. His attention was drawn to two burly men drinking beer in a tavern opposite him. One said, things aren't looking good, are they? The brown-haired man complained, the Lord has ordered us to increase ore production. This isn't good at all. How can we possibly get any more than this? We're already eating and sleeping so much less. The bald man sighed wearily. I know. I'm afraid he'll punish us severely if we don't increase production in time. Dex silently repeated the words to himself, the Lord. He suddenly covered his mouth and laughed suspiciously. Ha ha ha, is something like that really happening? Satan looked at him startled. He said profoundly, this is interesting. Satan suddenly felt weary. What is this coward starting now? A voice called out, hey! The two people in the tavern immediately looked over, confused. Ahamdez smiled warmly, looking extremely confident, and said to them, I think I can solve it. The trouble you two are having. The faces of the two immediately lit up. They said in a loud voice, oh really, then please help us. The system then displayed a quest named The Miner's Worry. The content was to collect iron ore for the miners who had been ordered by Baron Mackay to increase iron ore production. Iron ore progress was 0 out of 20. You can receive additional rewards if you collect more iron ore than required. After reading it, Tan immediately complained, what is this lame quest? Hey, Master, just do what you always do. This quest seems like a repeatable one that anyone can do, but Dex felt quite interested. I'm wondering if that's really the case. He said to it, look around, Tan. It made a curious sound. Although it didn't understand a thing, it still looked around, only seeing people buying and selling bustlingly. Selling iron ore for 20 coins. Free repairs for equipment under level 20 here. I'm selling self-made equipment here. Items made with a rank C blacksmithing skill. It stared in confusion and asked, is there something to see? Aren't they just a bunch of ordinary blacksmiths? He smiled. I guess you could say that. He said with near certainty that most of them weren't NPCs but players. He added, this is also understandable because of the demand from the hordes of players who have come here. But many people refuse the iron ore collection quest because, as you said, this is just a normal, repeatable quest. He asked it. There's an increase in demand, but the supply remains the same. What do you think will happen? It had never thought about this issue, so it said, I give up. Hearing that, he didn't explain further. You'll understand soon enough, even if you don't like the outcome." He gave it an okay sign with his hand and asked, "Shall we start making our first bit of money?" In the territory of Baron Mackay, inside a magnificent room, Lord Baron Mackay was sitting in contemplation. She silently calculated that iron ore was only 10 coins last month, but now it's already 15 coins. The price is rising too quickly, but she couldn't help but worry that at this rate there wouldn't be enough for the blacksmiths in the village. If that happens, only low-quality items made by apprentices for practice purposes will be sold on the market. And eventually the quality of items in our territory will suffer a severe decline. She grew anxious. Everything will be ruined if I don't do something, so she decided she had to do something. Meanwhile, at the desolate Fu, the mountain in a high mountain area was the entrance to the mine. Inside the path was pitch black, but fortunately there were still lanterns illuminating the way. A voice echoed in the tunnel. "There probably aren't many people here since it's this deep." Dex said eagerly, "Shall we start now?" he added. "I'll be counting on you, Tan." It asked back doubtfully, "Is this really okay?" It really couldn't understand why you are wasting recognition on useless things like this. He pouted and said, "Just shut up and do it." Its resistance failing, it had no choice but to follow his words. As it deployed its power, it said, "All right, I'm starting now." A brilliant purple light flashed in the middle of the dark tunnel at that same moment. The system displayed a notification. 8,000 recognition has been consumed for the contract with your subordinate. A drill with a crimson eye in the center appeared floating in midair. The system quickly introduced the item Gen Destroyer. A drill made from the toenails of the Gen Predator, a species of mole from the demon world, level to possess. Unknown. Durability 10,000 out of 10,000. Special skill accelerated digging. Sharply increases digging speed. Sharply reduces failure rate when digging. Can find high-quality materials. Dex praised it with satisfaction, top-notch. The purple light shone on his face, making him look somewhat frightening. He thought with great excitement, "Let's start getting rich." In the territory of Baron Mackay, the bustling sounds of trade echoed through every corner of the city. Recently, iron ore has become increasingly scarce. Players accepted the quest to collect iron ore for the miners. Constantly searching need to buy 20 cheap iron ores for a quest here. A female player was looking to buy iron ore to complete this quest. "Are you doing the repeatable miner quest?" a male player spoke up after hearing the girl's purchase offer. He laughed and revealed, "Ha ha ha, don't do that one. Do. It's useless, except for increasing your affinity points with the blacksmiths a little. Instead, it's more profitable if you just mine the ore and sell it." It seems the issue with the ore and the blacksmith's quest is becoming more and more problematic as players continuously buy up iron ore and craft with it indiscriminately, instead of giving it to the real blacksmiths. Witnessing the conversation between the two players, the blacksmith Aiden couldn't help but get angry. "These damn adventurers. I can't believe they're using precious iron ore to craft those low-grade items." That's right, these nobodies. Coming from who knows where and calling themselves masters and artisans. Another blacksmith spoke up in agreement with Aiden. "It's complete chaos. It seems that if the Baroness doesn't solve this problem soon, this territory will be doomed. The economic setup in Arcadia is not much different from the real world. Production and consumption, supply and demand distribution. It's like the skeleton of an entire economic system that extends, connects, and compensates for everything to develop together. Raw materials and regional specialties. All have their differences. Ironwood, wool, leather, rice. Each region is responsible for a specific material, then the demand for materials will also change depending on the situation and the season. Then comes trade and exchange. And currently the material with the highest demand in the market is iron ore. It is in severe shortage while the demand for iron continues to rise. Finding iron ore has become so difficult that players are going crazy over it. According to player speculation, it might be because too many people chose the blacksmith profession, so iron ore has become harder to find. The price of iron ore is rising to ridiculous heights. Yes, that's the consequence of the supply shortage. It has pushed the price of ore from 10 coins to 17 coins, but the current price is 1.7 times that. Even crafting refined items from iron ore no longer brings much profit. Players have started to complain more and more. It seems they still haven't realized that they themselves are the cause of this. I know this game aims for realism, but this is a bit too much. If I had known, I would have chosen to be a warrior to make things easier. Complaints from players echoed everywhere. They only buy the iron ore available on the market, instead of mining it themselves. This is because they think it usually takes about 2 hours to travel from the inner city to the mine, and mining itself is also very difficult. It's not like you get ore just by digging. Mining is quite difficult because your digging tool can break at any moment. Therefore, they push this strenuous work onto others and hope someone else will do it for them. So it's better to just leave that work to someone else and focus on leveling up skills by repairing items. That's right. In terms of profit mining, ore yourself really isn't worth it. But that's not the case for everyone. At Fu, the mountain, Dex frantically drilled into the ore deposit with the Gen Destroyer. Iron ore was continuously found accordingly. The system's sound dinged non-stop, flashing blue on the interface. You have collected iron ore. How lucky you have collected iron ore. Your mining skill has reached rank D1. Speed and mining rate have been upgraded. You can now mine some rare iron ores with a low probability. You can detect hidden ores. Stats increased by 10. He stopped to rest and opened the inventory interface. The item count displayed was astounding. 1,024 iron ores, along with many other types of rare ore. Suddenly, Tan rushed in. "Master, there you are. I've been looking all over for you." Seeing Tan, Dex couldn't help but wonder where it had been. Before he could react, he heard Tan say on second thought, "I guess you wouldn't be satisfied with just a drill. But after some consideration, I've found the perfect item to exchange for all of your recognition." As it finished speaking, it summoned a rather bizarre eye-shaped necklace. It was an item named Tear of the Night with a required level of 220. Durability permanent. Night affinity plus 50. Night attribute plus 80. It has special skills Veil of Darkness and Night's Wrath. Night skills level plus 2. After equipping, you will be hated by spirits. The wearer will not be attacked by dark spirits. You gain the ability to detect invisible enemies. After all the fuss, Dex still paid no attention and boredly took a towel to wipe his sweat. Not forgetting to say, "I told you I don't need anything. The required level is 220. Who could even use it right now? I can't use it either. More importantly, this thing is too powerful. If I equipped it, everything would become too easy and boring, so I don't need it." Seeing that Tan was still being stubborn, Dex couldn't help but sigh at this kid. Someone would definitely find out if I tried to sell it. If I sell it and quit the game now, maybe, but that would be like selling the goose that lays the golden eggs, right? Wounded by Dex's piercing words, Tan quickly spoke up to stop Dex's endless stream of words. "Hey, but where have you been all this time? You were missing for a while." Dex voiced his suspicion about Tan's whereabouts given the Demon King's hesitation and dangerous expression as if he were plotting against someone. It made this guy's claim of doing nothing even more unbelievable. Just as suspected, this guy was plotting something. His suspicious, gleeful laugh and punchable face made Tan look like some fool who had just escaped from an asylum in Dex's eyes looking at the amount of ore collected. It made Tan exclaim in surprise, "You really harvested a lot." This amount might even be more than the territory's ore. According to Dex's plan, he would mine this much every day and sell it all. He would get tons of favorability points from the blacksmiths by completing that quest multiple times, and then the Baroness's interest would be piqued. Meanwhile, at the Baroness's side, a meeting was taking place. "Baroness, if we don't have enough iron ore supply this time, we won't be able to deliver on schedule as stipulated in the contract. The recent situation has been quite difficult. I might have to close my shop. I'm thinking of moving to another territory with more iron." Worry filled the Baroness's face as she asked for everyone's thoughts on the ore problem. And of course, the problem lay with the adventurers. Everyone agreed that a large number of adventurers had flocked here and chosen to become blacksmiths, but those adventurers were only apprentices. Everything they crafted was second-rate, and although their goal was to become artisans and masters, this would consume a great deal of iron ore in the process. The bigger problem is, the number of miners hasn't increased proportionally with the number of blacksmiths because those adventurers don't like manual labor. Ultimately, the core issue still lies with the adventurers. According to the rules, they couldn't be forced to mine ore, nor could refined ore be sold only to artisans. Everything seemed to be at a dead end with the destruction of the beginner village. This caused adventurers to choose other places to continue their quests, creating a huge problem for Baroness Mackay's city, who was tearing her hair out over these troubles. Then, suddenly, a soldier burst in with big news. A mountain of high-quality rare iron ore had appeared, causing a huge commotion. Everyone was scrambling to buy the rare ores, and the person who caused this huge commotion was none other than Dex, who was now casually counting the money he earned from mining. The ore, from 3 days in a small alley, the money earned was 5 gold coins and 12 silver coins, which if converted to one would be about 512,000 won, and if this continued, he could make around 5 million won. That's not a small amount of money. It's also a decent profit to pay for rent and tuition, but it seems a better way is needed because continuing like this won't work. Because there were still many things to prepare, he was lost in thought when a voice suddenly spoke up. Are you the one who brought that iron ore here? The first meeting between Dex and the Baroness marked the beginning of Dex's plans coming to fruition. The system interface appeared indicating the person standing before him was Baroness Mackay. Along with her curiosity, the Baroness's favorability points increased. Dex flashed a victorious smile. It is I am Mackay, the Baroness of this territory. If you are free, would you care to have a cup of tea with me? From the Baroness's introduction and friendly invitation, it seemed the plan was gradually achieving its goal. At Baroness Mackay's mansion, Baroness Mackay and Dex sat opposite each other enjoying tea. She said, "Please try it. It's herbal tea picked from Mount Fiend." He complied, picked up the teacup, savored it, and complimented what fine tea it was. She smiled brightly and introduced, "Of course, that's one of our territory's specialties." But right after her expression changed, "How long did it take you to mine all that ore in the square?" He looked up at the Baroness, about 3 days. Hearing him say that, she shot up, slammed the table, and yelled in disbelief, 3 days? How is that possible? Then, seemingly realizing she was being a bit rude, she cleared her throat and calmed down. "Are there any other adventurers who can mine as much as you?" Dex replied, "No, that's probably a bit too much for them." She nodded in agreement indeed. He then offered a suggestion, "But if you gather many people together, it might be helpful." She sighed in frustration. "I know, but gathering them is not a simple matter." She asked Dex, "Can you help me?" She explained her problem as you already know. The economy of this land is reeling from the massive influx of adventurers. Just then, a system notification appeared. A special quest has emerged. The Baroness's concern: the territory's iron ore supply is in trouble. Increase the number of miners and the amount of ore mined. Total daily iron ore mined is 100,000 pieces of ore. 32,140 out of 100,000. The system asked if he would accept the quest. Dex grinned as if he had hit the jackpot perfect. He asked Mackay again, "You want to ask me to find a way to make adventurers go mine, or?" She replied, "That's right." Dex placed a hand on his chest and confidently accepted, "I will solve that problem for you at Dex's house." He was sitting in front of his computer. Dex thoughtfully pondered the quest the Baroness had given him. In reality, it was very difficult to solve. That's Arcadia for you. Players get bored easily and don't want to do manual labor. He moved the mouse, then immediately laughed and told himself, "First I need to change their perception." 2 lines appeared on the screen. "You have created a channel of Vandal's daily life. Subscribe to. Best, won't you?" "Hey, Sol Mapogu Sol, Jin Middle School in Class 2-3. A voice called out, "Hey, Hyung Tak." A cheerful teenager asked Han, "Aren't you playing Arcadia today?" Hyung Tak turned around sadly and replied, "I'm not playing anymore." His friend asked back, "What's wrong?" Hyung Tak slumped onto the desk dejectedly and answered, "It's just that game is so weird." He explained a newbie like me, who had just set foot in the game, was killed by some strange murderers. The next day I logged back in, and for some reason the slimes had suddenly gotten stronger. His friend was speechless. "Ah, right, you were in Ilan at that time," Hyung Tak helplessly and angrily continued. "Then the whole village suddenly disappeared. I don't know how many times I died before I managed to escape that place." When he said that, his friend burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha, just bad luck, forget about it." He scratched his head and asked Hyung Tak, "But you've reached Baroness Mackay's territory, right? And you even chose the merchant class." Hyung Tak slammed his hand on the table, sat up straight, and exclaimed, "That's the problem right there." He recalled his situation at that time. Baroness Mackay's territory has very few classes, so I chose merchant. But my skills are all useless stuff. It's hard enough to hunt, let alone combat. My character is only good for just giving a head to someone else. He lamented, "From now on, I'll just have to play Arcadia alone." Hearing him say that, his friend thought to himself, "What a pity," he said to Hyung Tak. "So you're just there to find something fun to do besides hunting, right?" Hyung Tak looked at his friend sadly without saying anything. Then his friend held up his phone for Hyung Tak to see there is something. He grinned triumphantly, pointing to a clip on the screen. "Something you can do, too." That video was titled, "You Can Do It Too." "Make a fortune from Arcadia." The video started playing with a voice saying, hello everyone, can you hear me? Clearly this is inside Mount Fiend, the place that's been famous these past few days. Everyone knows it, right?" The two watched the video intently. "The thing I want to introduce to everyone today is iron ore mining." Hyung Tak voiced his doubt. "Mining ore, isn't that just manual labor?" His friend didn't answer his question. The video continued to play. "You think so, right? A bag full of gold coins appeared. This is the money I earned this week." At this point, Hyung Tak shot up in surprise and exclaimed, "What? How so much money? That's freaking awesome. How did he do that?" His friend standing beside him crossed his arms, smiled triumphantly, and said, "See, just watch till the end." The video creator began to explain. "First, everyone starts with the F-rank miner skill. You'll earn about 20 pieces of ore in 1 hour, which is equivalent to about 400 copper coins. It also depends on the price of each piece of iron ore. Doesn't sound very appealing, right? But if you try to increase your rank, you'll see that the speed and success rate will also increase. Sometimes rare ores will even appear. He held up a piece of red ore, for example. I'm currently at A rank. So I earn at least one magic crystal or one diamond every day. Hyung Tak was shocked. A magic crystal? That's insane. Maybe because no one bothered to rank up their miner skill, nobody knew the video ended all right. Now I'm off to mine some more ore. Let's fast forward or the video will just replay. The screen flickered to the next video showing a smiling, bald old man with a silver beard saying, "Okay, I've sold all the ore I mined today. I will talk about how to negotiate with merchant NPCs and how to increase affinity points." After that, he held a few gold coins in his hand, boasting, "This is the money I earned today. 1 gold and 82 silver?" He asked you all, how about that? Making money isn't hard at all, right? Watching this, Hyung Tak's eyes sparkled, his mind filled with visions of gold coins. Awesome. He made up his mind. I want to try this too. The channel posting videos about Arcadia had just appeared and already become a rising star on YouTube. The daily life of a destroyer. In reality, most of the things in the video were fake. The benefits gained from mining that ore only existed when one obtained a cheat item just like Dex. In the video, such details were cleverly omitted to make people think that anyone could earn that much money. As expected, the video attracted the attention of many players. Comments started popping up one after another. "This is amazing. I'm gonna go try it too. I came to check it out because I heard everyone talking about it. Let's go mining, everyone. Let's party up and go." This had a huge impact on Arcadia's players. A crowd of people rushed the blacksmith, jostling and shouting over each other, iron ore, hey bro, got any pickaxes left? Does anyone know the way to Trouble Mountain?" After that, people flocked to the mines to dig for ore. The scene was so chaotic and bizarre that people asked each other why there were suddenly so many miners. Lord Mackay burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha ha, excellent. This is unbelievable. To think those stubborn adventurers are all rushing to go mining." She clutched her stomach, roaring with laughter. "It's not just those foolish blacksmiths. Even other classes have gone mining too." "How the hell did you do that?" Dex sat with his arms crossed and answered modestly, "It wasn't much. I simply took advantage of basic human greed." Mackay asked basic greed. He smirked and replied, "Money. And even if it's not money, it's something that can make money. Adventurers are just a bunch of capitalist pigs." Hearing his words, Mackay didn't understand at all. Then she stood up, laughing cheerfully. "Ha ha ha ha! Even though I don't understand a thing, I know we are heading in the right direction." Dex reminded her, "We can't be completely at ease yet. You need to prepare a few more things." He seriously listed for her the things to do and to note. First, reduce the miners' wages and instead give them ownership of a portion of the ore they collect. That will motivate the real workers and reduce the number of slackers. The Lord nodded, "I see. Indeed a viable strategy." Dex thought to himself, "It's just a simple performance management method that can be found anywhere yet. It seems this Baroness knows absolutely nothing about economic management. I guess from now on I'll have to actively teach her about the efficiency and cruelty of the modern economy." At this point, Mackay asked, "In that case, what should we do about the price of iron ore?" "There are no regulations on the price of iron ore yet. As you said, the price has skyrocketed to an unprecedented level. I heard it surpassed 20 copper coins a long time ago." Dex casually replied, "Just let it be." She was confused. "Huh? Let it be." He explained to her, even if the price goes up, people who need it will still have to buy it. The income of master artisans won't be affected at all, right? In other words, the old price was actually too low. That's why no one ever considered it a source of income. He rested his chin on his hand, musing, And if someone complains, Mackay immediately said, "Who would dare complain?" Dex coolly and cheerfully offered a solution. "They'll just have to go mine it themselves. You have to work to eat right." She pondered Dex's solution, but finally burst out laughing and patted his shoulder. "Ha ha, you're right. Ha ha, Dex, would you like to become the financial manager of our territory? I will definitely pay you a handsome salary." He gently refused. "Ha ha, that's a wonderful offer. But my adventure is not over yet." Hearing that, she cleared her throat in agreement. "Right, you're an adventurer after all. Forgive me for asking." In his mind, Dex was already plotting the next event. All right then. The current situation was advantageous for Baroness Mackay. Then she suddenly smiled and asked him, "So is there anything you want?" "I will give you anything as long as it is within my power." He immediately placed a scroll on the table. It was time to execute the plan. She picked up the scroll and asked, "What is this?" He replied, "It's my business proposal." She looked puzzled. "A business proposal," he declared confidently. "After you're done reading it, I'm sure you'll love it." She immediately opened the scroll and read, "The amount of money a person can earn on their own is limited. So how can one break that limit? It's simple. Just become a ruler." Mackay was surprised. This is... He laughed excitedly. Interesting, isn't it? Then he slyly raised a finger to his lips and made his request. If you give me 10% of the profits, I will grant you full business rights based on this. Several thousand years ago, during the war between angels and demons, the Great Holy Demon War. On that day, the heavens and earth seemed to tremble. Volcanoes looked as if they would erupt, adding their heat to the war. The sky was a bleak mix of black and white without a single ray of hope. Only the flickering light from angels and demons remained. The battle was waged with angels on one side. The other side was the demons. It happened very quickly, which was no surprise. As soon as the angel attacked, they defeated the demon, sending her flying with a chaotic blow. The demon king became enraged, grinding his teeth together. That spear is Mutzbeilheim. Indeed, the holy archangel Michael pointed his sword at him, ignoring his curses without a single shred of fear. You despicable bastard! How dare you bring a holy weapon in here? A clear yet stern voice rang out. Demon King Satan, in the name of the archangel Michael, I will destroy you. Satan was powerless to fight back and could only watch helplessly. Like a fleeting dream, Satan returned to his child form, still drooling. His innocent face stared blankly at the bustling crowd as he cursed inwardly. Damn it is it, because this place is in the vicinity. What a terrifying dream. He whispered into his master's ear. I just recalled some redundant memories. All around, groups of men stood on both sides of the road, shouting out, Anyone want to party up for mining? We need to buy a large number of pickaxes, especially high-durability ones. The tiny demon king sitting on his shoulder asked Master what was in that business proposal you gave to the Baroness. He laughed. Oh, so you're curious. He continued with a saying that made it wonder. His eyes suddenly turned chilling. There's a saying, it's easy to get in but hard to get out. It cried out in panic and fear. Seeing that was enough. Teasing, Dex began to analyze and explain. Mining isn't as easy as people think, even if they find a good spot and get lucky. An average player can only gather 10 ores per hour at most. He continued. The reason I find so much rare iron ore is all due to the properties of the special item I own, Dongpa. Hearing this analysis, the little demon began to understand. Therefore, mining is just a form of low-productivity manual labor. The Demon King nodded in agreement. Yeah, that's true. It was a bit frustrated. There are so many mines here, wouldn't it be foolish to pass up this opportunity? It asked Dex, but does that mean there's no way to make money from these mines? He shrugged. Not exactly, there is a way. His face under the thick hood became even more mysterious. He chuckled softly. It's to sell entrance tickets. Simply put, we're selling the right to enter these mines. The Demon King was skeptical. What kind of method is that? That's no different than giving it away for free. And the right to enter is being snatched from their very hands. He added those without money can pay later, but that's not too important. When we tell them this, it no longer sat still and flew off his shoulder. How much are you selling one ticket for? Dex's face was pensive. Because it's highly likely people will only fall for it once. So about 1 gold, its face was shocked. What it hurriedly explained in a frantic voice. 1 gold, even I, who knows nothing, think that's ridiculously expensive. Even if they're complete idiots, isn't paying that much money a huge loss for them? He chuckled softly. A lot of people have already gathered here, because of the information I spread beforehand. Besides, it's highly likely they will blindly pay because they think they can earn much more inside the mine. He still had that same look and demeanor. His eyes gradually turned sinister. And just like that, I'll make a ton of money for free without lifting a finger. Yep, that's the plan. The Demon King was stunned, completely frozen. This guy was even worse than him. Turns out he's not a good guy at all. This guy is a true demon. He's exploiting all these other people without a shred of guilt. The one who gets tricked is the one at fault, huh? It held its head and sighed wearily. You're really something else. You are truly the perfect one for me to acknowledge as my master. There is no longer any doubt. He wondered. It called out clearly, Master, using the most reverent tone possible to address him. There is a place I hope we can go to together. I guarantee that you will not suffer any harm if you follow me. He was a bit bewildered by its mysterious and unclear demeanor, but he still followed it to the place Tan wanted to bring him to. After a rather long journey, the two arrived at their destination. He asked, Where is this? It scratched its head. I searched high and low. It took me several days to track this place down. The Demon King's expression was somewhat proud and triumphant. At first, I was not sure why this place felt so familiar, but after coming to the so-called mine, I remembered. I have been to this place before. He observed thoughtfully, listening to its every word. You have been here before. Tan lowered its head, its eyes flashing with anger that it tried not to show. I have finally found it. Keep your eyes wide open and watch. Those chicken-winged angels. The two of them stood in contemplation for a long while with no intention of entering. He silently noted the small details around them. This place seemed to have been abandoned for a long time. But there is not a speck of rust at all. Is it due to magic? It urged him, "Please try opening it, Master. I think it will work if it is you." He pointed to himself, a little doubtful. Me. But just as he moved his hand closer to the door, intending to touch it to open it, the system immediately announced that a powerful seal had been placed upon this door. You cannot approach it. You do not meet the requirements to break the seal. You cannot break the seal if you report the location of this place. The place hidden within the mine to the Baroness, you will receive a special reward. Acquired skill, relic excavation. The two of them stepped back while he lamented. It will not open because of some powerful seal. Hearing that the Demon King flew up in a rage and roared, "Of course, there is a seal on it. That is the reason I brought you here. You are driving me crazy." He wondered, what do you mean by that? Realizing that perhaps Tan had misunderstood his skills and magic, he explained, "It is not like I possess any kind of seal-breaking skill. How the hell am I supposed to open it? This door does look magnificent, but if I cannot open it, it is useless." It asked again, still angry, "Do you really not understand your own power?" It no longer stood beside him, instead moving to sit elsewhere while muttering curses. "Oh, why would such power be given to a mere human? If it were a lesser demon, I could have enchanted it and ordered it to do all sorts of things." Standing aside, he heard every word clearly. Did he just come right out and say he wants to order me around? After its anger had subsided, it turned to ask him, "Master, please answer me honestly. How much do you know about the power you possess?" He stepped closer. "You mean acknowledgement?" It nodded precisely. "Whatever you may call it, it is a power you possess. It lies beyond the control of Providence. It can do whatever it wishes with anything created to balance the world, a power that can control everything. Whether natural or artificial, it is the power closest to that of the Creator." The gemstone in his hand began to glow. Tan looked at him and asked, "Surely you must now understand what you can do with it." "Right." Seeing him only lower his head, it hesitated. Then he looked up and answered nonchalantly, "Not really." Receiving the unwanted answer, it once again roared in anger. "Everything means everything. Everything, everything, whatever you desire." More than 10 minutes later, the two were still standing outside the door. Dex asked, "So this power called acknowledgement that I possess is necessary for beings?" "Superior beings like you," Tan nodded in agreement. "That is right." The Demon King pointed at the door and explained further, "Normally it is accumulated bit by bit over a long period, but even then the amount is still very small." "Yes. I do not know why, but the amount of acknowledgement you have accumulated is abnormally high, just considering the amount from our agreement. It would have taken me at least 500 years to accumulate." Dex contemplated. "I see now. So that is why Tan covets acknowledgement so much. All right, I think I understand for now. So you are saying I can open this door, right?" He hesitated because of what happened earlier. It still made him partly disbelieve in his own ability, but when I touched it, the system said there was a seal on the door. Tan urged him from behind. "Seal or whatever it is, probably just some nonsense requirement set by those chicken-winged angels. They are probably using some excuse like saving the world or something." The Demon King continued his temptation, "Whatever the case, while it may be a problem for others, it is not for you. You might not realize it yet, but with the amount of acknowledgement you possess, a seal like this is nothing. The only problem is that you have not thought of it that way." Its face grew mysterious. "What you need is the determination to do it." Tan encouraged him, "Try opening the door one more time. This time, think about wanting to open it." Sure enough, the seal began to give way. The door started to tremble, and the system responded positively. "The door's seal is reacting to the player. You have the ability to bypass the necessary requirements to break the seal by consuming acknowledgement. Do you wish to break the seal? Required acknowledgement, 15,000. His face grew pensive as he thought to himself, 15,000 is double the amount needed for a special item, but where else would I use it? If not to open this door, Dex laughed loudly open. The system continued to report 15,000 acknowledgement has been consumed. The seal has been broken. You have discovered an unidentified holy temple. As the seal opened, the Demon King sighed in relief. The first step of its plan was complete. This place is the temple of those chicken-winged angels. The great war of angels and demons. A fierce and bloody battle where angels and demons clashed on the battlefield of Arcadia and millions of lives were lost. The entire continent was stained red with blood. The consequences of that war were so devastating that if not for the salvation of the World Tree, not a single weak faction of the neutral side could have survived. 1,000 years after the Great War ended, many people still carry the fear caused by the Great War of saints and demons of old. They pray that nothing of the sort will ever happen again. And they left a warning for future generations, from a traveler's memoir. The system sent out continuous incident notifications alert the holy sanctuary of Mount Flan. Has been infiltrated by a user. Alert and error has occurred generating a myth-grade quest. This is an emergency situation. An error has occurred with the myth-grade quest. There are 693 related incidents. In the operations room, the atmosphere was extremely tense. Kang Tai-hun, the scenario team manager, stood up to lead the meeting. All right, we will now begin the emergency meeting. I know everyone is going through a difficult time and is tired, but I hope for your understanding as this is an extremely urgent matter. Hearing this, the employees looked even more exhausted, slumping over their desks. They complained and whispered to each other, "What is it now?" I was looking forward to going home and taking a shower. The incident in the beginner village only happened a few days ago. I want to go home. The director stared pensively at his computer screen. Tae-hun continued, as you all know from the information that was sent out exactly 32 minutes ago, an incident occurred within a myth-grade quest. After investigating the related cases, we have confirmed that the cause of this incident is content within Mount Flan. The details are attached on page 3 of the document. Please take a moment to read it over. The director followed the instruction reading through the document file. He asked in confusion, "Wait, Mount Flan is the angel's domain. I have never heard of it before." The manager bowed his head and explained this is the first time we have become aware of it thanks to this incident. First, I will tell everyone about the lore we have uncovered. In the past, Mount Flan was known as the Gate of Heaven, and it was rumored to be the first place on the continent of Arcadia where the angels descended. The various ores around the mountain were believed to be a type of barrier concealing the Gate of Heaven. Simply put, it is a secret holy land. Director Kwon contemplated this game is truly full of mysteries. Are there not just too many hidden storylines that we have never even touched? So what is the name of the myth-grade quest that malfunctioned? Asked a difficult question. Manager Kang became flustered. About that. We need to conduct further research, but after reviewing the problematic quest and all related ones, the conclusion we have come to is, well, we are not entirely certain. But Director Kwon, slightly irritated, urged stop beating around the bush and tell us clearly what the quest is. Breaking out in a cold sweat, he stammered his reply. The second great war between saints and demons. As the phone received the answer, his expression turned from calm to shocked. What meanwhile inside the cave? Both he and his companion had ventured deep inside when a grand hall appeared before them, and Death, standing before the high steps, quickly realized it was the heavenly hall. The Demon King, with a triumphant expression, laughed and said, "Ha ha, how about that, you chicken-winged bastards? I told you so." I said I would come here and finally meet you, didn't I? He ran and jumped, scrambling ahead of him. Let's get to it, Master. Let's loot all of their assets. We will completely destroy their plans, ka. He followed behind, nodding without much enthusiasm. All right. Death took a few more steps and arrived before an iron chest with a shiny gold plating. So you said there's treasure here, right? Hitting a nerve, he spoke rapidly. Yes, that's exactly right. So open it up right now. As he reached out to touch the exquisitely carved patterns on the chest, the system immediately displayed a warning. This is a language you do not understand and cannot decipher. Someone who studies ancient languages might be able to decipher this language. Divine power envelops the space around your body. Your HP and MP regeneration stats have increased significantly. You need to investigate these ruins in detail. A hidden ruin has appeared. Seeing the system warning, he pulled his hand back, hesitating. It seems there's truly a wonderful item in here. I wonder if it's okay to just take it. The previous quest stated that I only need to report this to the Baron to receive a special reward. The Demon King, watching from afar, saw him standing frozen for a long time and roared impatiently. "Hey, what are you doing? Just open it already." Death calmly replied, "Just wait a moment." He thought to himself, well, on second thought, there isn't much else I can do if I don't know what this place is. I would have just continued with the previous quest to get the special reward. But now that I've heard what Tan said, I can't do that anymore. Besides, the lord of a tiny city like Baron Mikan could never grant me a reward. Better than the treasure in the heavenly hall. Mikan, sitting in his castle, suddenly felt his ears itch. Is someone talking bad about me? Meanwhile, Death continued to be lost in his thoughts. More importantly, by forcing my way in, I'm basically a tomb raider now. Instead of letting others know about the existence of this place, it might be better to keep it a complete secret. Death became more decisive, no longer hesitating, as he called out, "All right, then let's open it." Hearing that, Tan immediately perked up, his gloomy expression vanishing in an instant. Now that's the spirit. That's my master. Over 10 minutes later, despite their best efforts, their combined strength was like ants trying to move a boulder. He yelled, "Use your back, Master, lift with your back." Drenched in sweat, he replied wearily, "I'm already giving it my all." The chest was still the same. It remained completely motionless, as if it hadn't shifted at all. Both of them were on the verge of collapse, panting on the ground. Damn it, it's not budging at all. Is it because my strength stat is too low? Tan sighed in frustration, damn it. If only I had my original body, this would be a piece of cake. Tears and snot streamed down his face. This is ridiculous, I went through so much just to get here. And now I'm just sprawled on the ground like this. All because of a small but extraordinarily heavy stone. It's not even due to some angelic barrier or seal. Hearing him mention the stone, Death suddenly had a realization. Wait a minute, a stone slab? Death asked him, "Tan, are you sure there's treasure inside?" He roared, already annoyed. "I told you I'm absolutely sure. If I were lying, why would I be trying so hard?" He put on his glasses and replied confidently, "All right then. Then I have no other choice. System notification, you have equipped the rock breaker." As he picked up the drill preparing to bore into the stone slab, Tan said awkwardly, "Wait a minute, Master, don't tell me." With an imposing and serious air, he said, "Tan, a door that can't be opened won't budge, no matter how you force it." Then Death revved up the drill with a crazed look and exclaimed, in times like these, "Destroying it is the correct answer." The tip of the drill bit bored deep into the slab, sending debris flying everywhere. Tan, who was standing to the side and getting showered, sighed again. "Humans are truly more terrifying than demons." A system notification arrived. Special achievement, you have destroyed an unknown ancient holy relic. The Celestials are shocked by your actions. Your relationship with the Celestials has hit rock bottom. It is advised that you stay out of the Celestial sight. Title obtained, Destroyer of Relics. After he was done, he let out a satisfied smile. Phew, using the rock breaker is so much more satisfying. But when the lid on the chest, which was actually a coffin, was opened, inside was a skeleton clad in dazzling robes. He was stunned. "This is the treasure." Death pointed at the skeleton and asked Tan if this is the treasure. "Then you should have told me sooner. Why did you let me destroy someone's coffin like this?" "I'm not that shameless." Tan sighed. So if you knew it was a coffin, you wouldn't have destroyed it." "I didn't think something like that would bother you." "My apologies." He shrugged. "Anyway, what's so valuable about this coffin? Just taking that one thing should be fine. Even I don't want to take everything the deceased was wearing." Tan gave a wry smile. "Really? Haha, I have just the answer for you." He pointed to the necklace on the deceased's robes. "Take that necklace, Master." In his mind, the Demon King was triumphant. "Haha, that necklace is a holy relic. It's something the angels prepared for the future. I'm certain that if a villain like my master obtains it, the plans of those damn angels will be completely ruined. How about that? This is how I'm going to piss you all off, you chicken-winged bastards." The system sent a notification. "You have received the Medal of Heavenly Glory. Divine power is reacting to you." A burst of light erupted, knocking everything back. He shouted, "What's happening?" A stream of light entered Death's hands, but he couldn't move. "I can feel it. Something is pouring into me." Just then, the system sent a notification along with a sparkling gold medal. "You have received the Medal of Heavenly Glory." At the same time, Death received a response. "As soon as he touched the medal, divine power is resonating with you." His expression was stunned as a flash of light erupted the moment he grasped it. The Demon King Tan was also affected by the power radiating from the medal, raising his hands to his chest and shouting, "What is happening?" Death, still dazed and confused, saw the divine power radiating from his entire body and thought, "I can feel it." Suddenly, the figure of a deity, tightly gripping a sword, emerged from the medal. Death noticed something unusual, as if something was pouring into him. The deity's figure became clearer, its long hair flowing in the wind. Suddenly, its hand moved towards Death, and a gathering beam of light forced him to shield his eyes. The system suddenly sent a message. "The special ability of the Medal of Heavenly Glory has been used. The hidden class Holy Word has been bestowed upon you." A small flame slowly flared to life. A moment later, it grew powerful and entered him. Immediately after, a warning was sent. "Your class is not of the holy, divine type. A serious conflict has occurred. Fortunately, an emergency solution has been implemented. The item will be temporarily disabled. Please submit a ticket to resolve this issue." To the customer service center, Death went from one surprise to another, staring at the tiny flame. A moment later, the situation improved. The Demon King Tan, after struggling for a while, was completely drenched. I was almost a goner. I didn't expect there to be that much divine power. The Demon King Tan transformed into his small form and flew up, looking curiously at the item in his hand. "Hey, Master, what the hell just happened?" But even Death had no idea. "I don't know either, let me check." He looked at the item he had just received and saw it was the Medal of Heavenly Glory. However, according to the system notification, it was an item that had ceased functioning due to a critical error. We will investigate this matter in detail and find a solution. We appreciate your understanding, but Death was a bit surprised and also worried about the future. It seems this is far more complicated than I thought. Is it because of my class? He said to Tan, well, I'm sure they'll do something about this. Right. Scene change to Baroness Mikai's territory, the Fian Mountain Quarry. A majestic view of the forest and the towering immense rock mountains. Suddenly a voice called out, "Stop making Hyung Tae freeze in surprise. What's going on?" He thought to himself, this is strange. Why are these guards blocking the entrance? A guard approached, took out a piece of paper, and pointed at it. He asked, I've never seen you before. Are you here to mine in the quarry? Hyung Tae answered honestly. That's right, why do you ask? To his surprise, the guard demanded that he pay a fee to mine here. Or do you have a pass with you? Hyung Tae's face turned pale. A pass? I've never heard of it. He only remembered a YouTube video titled Anyone Can Make Money with Arcadia. With 540,000 views, it was among the top trending games, but he never expected to encounter this upon arriving. What's going on? This is the first I'm hearing about this. The YouTube video I watched at school didn't mention it at all. Have things changed? The guard saw he was just some broke guy who dared to show up here. He immediately scolded him. There's no such thing as a free lunch. What can an adventurer like you contribute by just showing up to mine in the quarry owned and developed by Baroness Mikai? Obviously you have to pay, right? Hyung Tae asked hesitantly. May I ask the price of the pass? The guard immediately pitched, so you're thinking of buying one, huh? The pass expires in 1 month. And of course the price to pay was huge. The guard said, it costs 30 gold. What do you think, cheap, right? Hyung Tae's jaw dropped when he heard the number. 30 gold. He thought of the payment as a towering hill he could never climb. 30 gold. That means I have to earn 1 gold per day, and 1 day's worth is 100,000 won. If the daily fee is 100,000, that's 3 million a month, isn't it? A high school student like me can never afford that amount. Thinking of the staggering price, Hyung Tae cried internally. Do I have to give up my dream of getting rich by mining? The guard saw his expression and immediately guessed. What's wrong? Is it because you don't have enough money for the pass, huh? Hyung Tae wanted to negotiate but was too intimidated, constantly looking away. Yes, I came here to make money, so I don't have a large sum like that. He just saw the guard give a cunning smile. As if it were a bad omen, the guard patted his shoulder and laughed. I get it. You don't have much money, right? I could tell just by looking at your clothes. But the Baroness has prepared a system for people just like you. Hyung Tae was immediately tempted and asked a system for people like me. The guard then offered a suggestion to lure Hyung Tae in. I think it's like a buy now, pay later kind of deal. If you want the details... He trailed off, pointing to a house at the foot of the mountain. You should head to the consultation office for an explanation. Arriving at the office, he saw a cute girl with blue hair and brilliant red eyes sitting at the entrance. When she saw him, she gave an innocent wink. It was the first time Hyung Tae had seen such a beautiful girl, and his eyes lit up like stars. The guard rejoiced internally. Looks like we've hooked another one. What they were really after was a mining slave. As Hyung Tae walked towards the consultation office, he was unknowingly walking straight to the gallows, where a noose was hanging. Inside Baroness Mikai's Fian Mountain Quarry, not a single ray of light from the outside could get in. It was lit only by oil lamps. The situation at the quarry was dire as it had recently been suffering from a shortage of miners. But currently, deep inside the mountain cave, workers toiled day and night with voices shouting from within, hurry up, dig faster. I have to pay off the pass fee so I can finally start making money. Another person was chanting, magic, crystal, please, I just need one. The blue-haired girl from earlier heard all these words and simply smiled. How passionate. She seemed amused. This strategy is called once you're in, you can't get out. I can't believe I've lured in so many people like this. It's incredible they don't realize they've become mining slaves. Their false hopes are making them misjudge the situation. She was still trying to find out who the mastermind of this strategy was. This idea was far too evil to be the Baroness's. I don't know who thought of it. She could only be sure that it must be someone terrifying. Meanwhile, on Dex's side, he received a notification that he had mined 100,000 ores. Today, the quest, the Baroness's concern, has been completed. Find the Baroness and receive the quest reward. Dex was surprised to get the notification. I've already finished the quest. He walked over and said to Demon King Satan, all right, that's enough. So let's finish up here. Demon King Satan flew over and asked, Master, what are you planning to do? Dex put his cloak back on and replied, what else I'm going to do? What has to be done, of course. So you don't know what we're doing here, huh? Demon King Satan had no idea what he meant, but a bad feeling was creeping in. Dex began to list his glorious achievements. Besides excavating the ruins, I also stole an item after wrecking this place. And I even destroyed the corpses while trying to get the necklace. I've become a criminal worse than scum. Dex said this with a gleeful expression. Sitting on his coffin, Demon King Satan listened helplessly. At least you're self-aware? Dex then hatched a wicked plan. If people find out what we've done here, my situation will surely become more complicated. I want the existence of this place to remain a secret, so... He trailed off, making Demon King Satan even more curious. Then a purple electric light suddenly radiated out. Dex took out his treasured sword, plunged it into the ground, and declared, "I'll have to erase all the evidence." Hearing this, Demon King Satan was even more horrified. "Don't tell me you're planning to destroy everything." Dex just turned back with a friendly smile that hid his cruel nature and replied, "Exactly." The moment he finished speaking, the cave began to shake violently. Boulders began to fall from the ceiling everywhere, and the place turned into a desolate ruin. After taking care of it, Dex let out a refreshed and satisfied sigh of relief. That should erase all the evidence. I just need to block the entrance and it will be perfect. Demon King Satan stared dumbfounded at the person smiling cheerfully in front of him. You really can learn a lot from humans. In another scene at Baroness Mikai's mansion, that Mikai suddenly appeared, slamming her hand on the table. "Hello, I've been waiting for you." Dex spoke first. "I take it you've got more miners for the quarry." Mikai said cheerfully, "It's all thanks to you. I'm sure I won't have to worry about this issue. At least not until next year. I don't know what you did, but just as you said, tons of adventurers showed up to pick up a pickaxe." As she said this, she gave him a look that could eat him alive. "Do you know how many people signed the slave contract we proposed after we told them the ridiculous price of that pass?" Dex, a little intimidated by her expression, asked, "I'm not sure." "How many?" Then she shouted, her face glowing with more joy than ever. "We're talking about a grand total of 9,693 people. Considering we usually have around 800 miners, this is an astonishing achievement, isn't it wonderful? Not only do we get a 30% transaction fee for the ore, but the iron ore must also be sold within the barony's territory. How did you ever think of this? You're an absolute genius." Dex turned his head away to avoid Mikai's intense stare. "I just got the inspiration from somewhere." He thought to himself, from news reports about predatory companies, for example. He looked at her expression and prayed for his own safety. She seems even more unhinged than when I first met her. "Is this going to be okay?" Mikai was muttering to herself with a bizarre witch-like air. "Since things are going this well, I must exploit these little slaves to the fullest." "I might even become a duchess now for the main part," Dex said, now Baroness. "It seems you've gotten what you wanted. Let's talk about the reward." The moment he mentioned it, Mikai turned back instantly. "That's right. I have the reward all prepared. A bag so full of gold coins it was bulging. Here, as promised, 10% of the extra profits." Instantly, a system notification arrived. "You have received 120 gold and 23 silver." Dex held the bag and smiled. "This is about 12 million won. I can easily pay off my capsule debt now." But it didn't stop there as Mikai spoke up. She made an offer to Dex. "Do you really have no intention of working with me? I will consider you a sworn partner and share power equally with you." He received a notification about Baroness Mikai's proposal. "Baroness Mikai has complete trust in you and is offering you a partnership. If you agree, you will be able to wield all of her authority as her equal, and your affinity with Baroness Mikai will also increase significantly. Along with that come two choices, no or yes." After thinking for a moment, he found it to be a surprisingly tempting offer. He wondered what he should do.